Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sour Grape Was Late show. Welcome to the Sour Grape Was Late again. Well, I have a good excuse this time. Unlike I wasn't watching BB this time. I was preparing for karaoke. You hear that? I got boomer paper. I have a list of songs that I'm interested in changing up to karaoke. Hold on, I gotta get my highlighter. 3 of them I already sang before, so it doesn't really matter. I fixed it. Okay, I got another karaoke. Yes, I wanna do the Neogenics one, because I've seen that nobody. Why isn't anybody talking about how good the songs are? Whenever they play this stupid game, they don't talk about how good the music is at all. What the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway. Like, what the fuck? Oh, crap. I gotta turn on the light. Forgot to turn on the light in here. I'm like in the dark. And you can't pick up my model without the light. Hold on. Okay. I'm back. Anyway, so the songs are very good. Man, I didn't even buy the game. I bought the soundtrack on Bandcamp. I have the game now. Thank you, base. But I didn't have the. I was like, these songs are really good. I'm just gonna buy the Bandcamp so I can get the FLAC files so I can listen to it at my leisure. So good. Such a good soundtrack. And every song, I'm listening to more of it, and it's just hit after hit after hit. It's so good. Oh, man. Anyway. So I already sang 3 of them at the last karaoke. So I already have those 3 done. Some of these I want to do, but I feel like it would be difficult to edit and get the karaoke correct. But I'll try because I like them. I'm gonna scratch off Kitty Kitty because although I don't hate the song, the melody is all over the place, man. The melody is just like up, down, down, up, down, and I just feel like that's just too much. Although the song makes sense, like why it's like that. I'm gonna cross it off. It's too much. It'll kill me. I like Stray Cat a lot, although it is a weird one too, the melody. But the melody is more. I can remember that. One better than Kitty Kitty. Brush Your Teeth is in Japanese. Now I was like, I don't usually sing Japanese, but it's a funny song. So it's a funny song. I like it. Oh, man, I really want to sing Mom, I Really Hate You. Oh, man. If there's any of the ones, any songs in Mugenics that you like, hit me up, and I'll see if I can do it. There's a lot of songs. I think I got like 12 or 13 that I'm like, yeah, we could do that. We could do that one. Oh man, some of these are gonna be really hard to do though, cause we need the background singing, and I'm gonna have to edit it in. Brush your teeth, yeah, brush your teeth, baka. Oh man. Yeah, calamine smoothies is gonna be on there, but that'd be a weird one too, wouldn't it? Damn it. I really like Humanicide. Even though there's German in it, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. It's not gonna be the best, but I'll try. Update later. I'm on GOG. So tonight is Higurashi. And apparently my not boyfriend is getting arrested. Shit, did I let Discord know? I need to let Discord know that I'm streaming this. They'll get mad at me. They'll be like, why? Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you remind us that you're alive? I know. At notifications. I'm alive. There. Done. Shio's gonna reveal herself to save her boyfriend? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I hope they don't take him because, well, we already know. Damn it! Don't we already know the timeline, though? He ends up going to jail and then he dies in jail. Oh, he dies in jail.
Would you like a slice of limón teclas numeral tarta de cumpleaños, Mr. Ooishi-san?
Would you like a slice of lemon pound cake? Oh, there's karaoke, by the way, for those songs done by Afro Man. I got sent the YouTube links to that. Oh my god, it's so funny. It's so funny. Oh my god. I don't know if I should, like, fuck around with them and find out, but I don't know. I'd rather just sing Myogenic songs, to be honest. Higurashi when they cry. Let's play this bad boy. To the game zone! Why is my head so big? Make myself small. Very small. Wee! There we go. Even smaller. Ooh. Okay, stay there. Stay over there. Higurashi when everyone gets lemon pound. We'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of pissed right now about this situation because I know the future and I don't like the future. If I could change the future, I would. Ah, shit. Don't do that. Stretchy stretch! You are so weak. You are so weak. Subjugators of the earth, the skin alive, meek. It's your fate. It's your fate. Damn it, I got them eugenic songs in my head. You should have seen me today. I was cleaning up the house. I'm just like, chaos. Surrounded by so much chaos. Chaos. It's so much stuff to do! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just continue. We're gonna load this bad boy. Here goes nothing.
I just had to stop Ooishi, no matter what. I only needed to gain some time. It didn't really matter what I said.
そうですよ。
That's right.
北条聡さんのアリバイが知りたいんです。
I want to get Hojo-san's alibi.
な私たちの捜査がまずいからなのかな。犯行の時間帯にどうしても北条さんのアリバイが見つけられないんですよ。
We can't seem to confirm his whereabouts at the time of the crime. We don't know.
Well, that's your problem. That's your problem, pig.
仕方ないから恥を忍んでご本人に直接そのあたりをお伺いしようかと思いましてね。
It's shameful, but we decided to question him in person.
そんなの本人に聞く必要ないです。
You don't have to ask him.
私がアリバイ証明しますから。
I can confirm his alibi.
ありゃ。
Oh?
そりゃ本当。
それ本当? Really?
なら助かるな。
That'd help.
あの晩園崎さんが神社にいて お祭りの最後まで過ごしていたことはすでにあなたからも聞いているし、
You already
その
told
他
me that
大勢の方からも証言を得ています。
you already told me that you were at the festival that night and many people can confirm it.
そのあなたがそこで北条さんとも一緒だったと言ってくれるなら一番楽なんですが
It'd be
ね。
easier if we could confirm that Hojo-san was with you.
でもあんた、以前そのあたりをお聞きしたとき、北条さんのことは一言も言ってませんよね。
But I don't think you mentioned him when I questioned you last time, did you?
実はいましてって。
Are you gonna
孫のおっ
change
しゃ
your
るおつもり
statement
で。
now?
祭り会場の誰一人北条さんを見ていないのに、あなただけは見ていたとそうおっしゃるおつもりで。
Even though no one at the festival saw Hojo-san, are you gonna tell me he was with you?
そうです。
That's right.
私と一緒にいました。
He was with
それで
me.
十分です。
Wouldn't that be enough?
あなたが仲良しのお友達と終始一緒にいたのは分かっているし、私も会場で実際にお見かけしています。
What am I gonna do?
I know you were there with your other friends that night. I saw them myself.
それでも一緒にいたとおっしゃるわけで。
Are you still saying that you were with him?
そいつはちょっと苦しくない？
Isn't that a little too hard to believe?
ん？
Isn't it?
Ooishi approached me with a creepy smile. Was he teasing me because my excuse sounded funny? I don't think so. He was frustrated due to being interrupted when he was about to catch a big fish.
祭り会場でずっと一緒に遊んでたのに、すっかり忘れてて今頃になって思い出したと、そうおっしゃるおつもり？
Are you saying that you forgot that you were with him, but just now remembered you actually were?
園崎美音さん。
Mion Sonozaki-san.
I did get a little scared, but I couldn't stop myself. I could save Satoshi-kun if I revealed my real identity. I was aware of the risk. Grandma would certainly capture me if I revealed it. I didn't think of the consequences after that.
Let's go!
っていうか、私ミオンじゃないですし。
Yeah, baby! Let's go for her man! Let's go! Let's go! She a real one. Fuck all of you guys! Fuck all of you haters of Shion! Fuck you! She's a real one. None of your waifus would ever do anything like that. None of them. Not one. Name me one. Name me one that would do that. I'm still a hater. I respect it. Not one of your waifus. Never one of your waifus would do that shit. None of them. I don't give a fuck. Anyway.
I'm not Mion Sonozaki.
だからもともと綿流しになんか行ってません。
I didn't go to the Watanagashi festival in the first place.
あ？
Huh?
サトシ君とは綿流しの晩は沖宮のファミレスでずっとおしゃべりしてました。
Satoshi-kun and I were talking in a restaurant in Okinomiya at the time.
エンジェルモートって店ですので、どうぞ店長にも確認を取ってください。
The name of the place is Angel Mort. You can confirm that with the owner if you want. Oishi was still smirking, but he apparently felt confused.
あんた何を言ってるの？
What are you saying?
あんたミオンじゃないなら誰なわけ？
If you aren't Mion, then who are you?
園崎、シオンです。
I'm Shion Sonozaki,
ミオンの双子の妹です。
Mion's twin sister.
初めてお会いしますね。こんにちは。
Pleasure to meet you, Oishi-san. Oishi looked perplexed, like he didn't believe what I'd said. He frowned.
園崎美音さんに双子の妹がいたなんて初めて知りましたよ。
I didn't know Mion Sonozaki had a twin sister.
あんた大人をからかってんの？
Are Are you trying to fool me?
からかってなんかないですよ。
Not at all.
どうぞ戸籍でも何でも調べてみてください。
Why don't you check my family registered or whatever?
それとも
Should I
お
call
姉を呼
sis?
んで2人で並んでみせれば信じます？
All the cops look bewildered now.
園崎しおんさん
Shion. Sonozaki-san.
はい、
Yeah, that's me.
シオンですが。
Is there anything
何か？
wrong?
あんたにもちょっと来てもらってもいいですか
Can
ね
you come with us?
あんたが園崎しおんさんで北条さんと一緒におられたって言うんならあんたにも話を聞かせてもらいたいもんです。
If you're testifying that you were with Hojo-san that night, I have to talk to you too.
望むところです。
Sure thing.
お手柔らかによろしくお願いいたします。
Please go easy on us. The cops gathered at their car and started discussing something. Looked like they never expected this to happen. I hope to be able to fake Satoshi-kun's alibi for at least a little while. It shouldn't be too difficult to talk to Sis about this, then forge up an alibi together.
サトシ君、
Satoshi-kun,
何を聞かれてもエンジェルモードで私とおしゃべりをして過ごしていたと言い張ってください。
tell them you were chatting with me at Angel Mort that night. No matter what they ask, okay?
私が何とかしますから。
I'll confirm your alibi.
何を聞かれてもよく覚えていないとか。サトシ君なら下手なことは言わず黙り込んだ方が無難かもです。
Tell them you don't remember that night too clearly. Or maybe you just keep silent. Satoshi-kun wore a startled expression. Though I was telling him something important, he'd apparently decided not to listen.
サトシ君、聞いてます？
Can you hear me, Satoshi-kun?
ここでしっかりしないと刑事たちの思うツボです。
You can't mess this up, okay?
Okay.
He must have been feeling deceived. Shit. No wonder. I just confessed that I wasn't Mion, but her twin sister. I really had been deceiving him.
怒ってます？
Are you upset?
なんで？
Why?
騙してて。
Because I've been fooling you. Satoshi-kun started laughing. I didn't know why he'd laugh. Because he wasn't the type of person who would laugh in order to hide something.
たまに教室のミオンと話が食い合わないことがあったから違和感は感じてたんだ。
I finally understand why you were weird sometimes in class.
やっとわかったよ。
I've been thinking it was a bit strange.
怒らないでくれるんですか？
Aren't you upset?
騙してたこと。
That I've been fooling you? Satoshi-kun looked puzzled. It was like he didn't know whether he should be upset about it or not. Maybe he was only pretending to be that way.
はじめまして。じゃないんだよね。
So, this isn't the first time we've met, is it?
はい、そうなります。
Well, yes, that's right.
そっか。
Okay.
シオンってどう書くの？
So, how do you write your name?
詩を読むの詩に音でシオンです。
With the characters for poetry and sound.
シオン。
Shion. Huh.
いい名前だね。
That's a beautiful name.
じゃあお二人さんすみませんが署までご同行願いますかね。
Could you please come with us to the station?
粉末でよければコーヒーか紅茶かくらいは選べますよ。
We can get you an instant coffee or some tea if you like.
I'm gonna kill my boy. You're gonna kill my baby. And he likes me, Chad. He likes me. This is bullshit. to do is that stupid defense. He just eto. Sound adjusted for which one? For the game is louder than my voice? Okay. Let's make it louder. I know. You can put it at 75. Thank you for letting me know. Baka. I have a tiny voice. Is that what you're saying right now? I have a tiny voice. Do I have to crank this shit up? I don't want to be too loud. Because it's already in the red. I don't like the peaking. I don't like that. But I'll do it. I'll do it.
You guys got tiny speakers?
Probably. Give you new tips.
Either Satoshi-kun was very smart or very lucky. Or maybe it wasn't him. The police found nothing at the scene of the crime to indicate his involvement in the murder. Yet, Satoshi-kun was still the prime suspect. Considering his home environment, he had a strong enough motive. He had no alibi. The police had everything other than physical evidence. It wasn't surprising that Ooishi took a chance. He probably didn't expect me to step in. But what I did was too little to avert his suspicion of Satoshi-kun. Ooishi believed that Satoshi-kun did it. He was waiting for Satoshi-kun to fall apart and confess. That's what both Ooishi and I were thinking. But that hypothesis was destroyed later on. I'll not talk about it now. But Ooishi's theory will be disproven, and the police will be thrown into shock. A question comes to mind. That is, who saved Satoshi-kun? I can only think of the possibility that the Sonozaki family invented the culprit. Oh yeah, the bum guy. The weirdo crazy guy that steps in and admits that he did it.
When we know that's not true. Excite. Continue. Let's see, where was it? The lemon boy is mine. You're not getting my lemon boy, Ooishi! You're not touching him! Well, Yoshiro-sama's gonna probably. For some dumb reason.
The cops were smart enough to separate us during questioning. Ooishi didn't come to talk to me. His aim was Satoshi-kun and nobody else. I got a young cop who just talked about ordinary things. He must have been trying to ease me into the interrogation. When I realized that, the clumsy way he spoke began to frustrate me. Is Satoshi-kun all right? I didn't think Ooishi really bought my testimony. He must have been trying to get Satoshi-kun to confess in spite of that. All I could do was pray that he'd keep quiet. The phone on the desk rang, and the cop picked it up.
はい、熊谷です。
This is Kumagai.
はい。
Hi?
ああ、そうですか。
All right.
わかりました。
I understand.
すぐに。
Right away. He hung up and told me somebody had come to retrieve me. Looked like Satoshi-kun had to stay. Were they going to continue the interrogation just because he had nobody to pick him up? Although, maybe I should have been worrying more about myself. The hag probably heard about me by now, since I revealed my real identity to the police. I couldn't hide any longer. I was going to receive some sort of punishment. I had no idea what she'd end up doing to me. The degree of punishment for a traitor is always severe in the world of the Sonozakis. The punishment must be carried out. If it's to protect the family's reputation, it's carried out no matter what. Maybe I should kiss my pinky finger while I still can. I asked the young cop just in case.
ねえね
Hey,
え、アメリカなんかでよく死刑囚が死刑廃止の州で捕まると引き渡さないでくれるっていう話あるじゃないですか。
hey, did you know that in America, if a condemned criminal gets arrested in a state which has banned capital punishment, they'll refuse to surrender him to the state prosecuting him if that state hasn't banned it?
ん
Maybe it was too difficult for him. He just looked puzzled. A glossy black car was waiting for me in front of the police station. A few men from my dad's office bowed to me.
シオンさん、ご無沙汰しております。
It's been a long time, Shion-san.
葛西は
Where's Kasai?
Shit, he's getting in trouble too.
Kasai had been helping me ever since my escape from the school. They wouldn't allow him to walk free.
お姉はどうしてるの？
How's sis doing?
何か言ってる？
Does she have something to say about this?
私たちはシオンさんを本家へお連れしろとしか言われていませんので。
We were only told to bring you to the main house.
詳しくは本家でお尋ねに
Please
なって
ask
くださ
her
い。
when you get there.
Fuck. No, they got me now.
After saying that, he escorted me into the car. A man sat on either side of me. Obviously, they didn't want me to escape. Thinking of Satoshi-kun, I looked back at the police station. Hold on tight, Satoshi-kun. I'll grin and bear it, too. The car started off roughly.
My baby.
It was never a good occasion when I went to this house, except when Mion and I were really small, oblivious of what the Sonozaki name meant for us. I'd been there only when I had to attend boring family councils. The car parked behind the house. Traders aren't allowed through the main gate. I got out of the car. It looked like Sis would be the only person to receive me. I almost spoke to her casually, but her cold gaze froze me before I could.
お久しぶりですね、シオン。
It's been a while, Shion.
新年以外に会えるとは思いませんで
So
した。
deep. I'd never expected to see you other than on New Year's. It gave me chills to hear her greet me in such a cold manner.
ミオン姉様こそ、ご機嫌麗しゅうございます。
It's a pleasure to see you again, Mion-sama.
新年以外にお顔が見れて、3問くらいの得を感じます。
I feel overjoyed to have the chance to see you other than on New Year's. I responded, trying to sound likewise.
当主は大変ご立腹ですよ。
Our leader is deeply upset.
どう釈明されるか見ものです。
I wonder how you'll explain yourself.
私がするような釈明なんて別にないですし。
I have nothing to explain. I had no excuse. I'd escaped from the school solely because I couldn't stand it there. That was all.
シオン、来なさい。
Shion, come this way.
皆待っています。
Everyone is waiting for you. Mion escorted me, and the others followed. We went to the garden, not into the house. As we passed through the huge yard into the woods, I realized where she was taking me. When we were little, we were told never to go near these woods. I had a vague idea of what was in the back of them. I heard there was a hidden entrance to the underground torture room, where they used to punish the enemies of the family. The more hideous rumors I heard about the family, the more credible those rumors seemed. Well, I wasn't completely certain about any of that. I'd never expected to see the torture room myself. We came to a concave clearing in the middle of the woods. I saw a metal door at the bottom of it. The door reminded me of a bomb shelter.
これが噂の地下拷問室ってやつですね。
So, this is the underground torture room, huh? I was surprised to hear my own voice. My voice was trembling. It made me realize that I was more scared than I thought. Nobody answered my question. The air felt tense. A According to the family rules, one of the twins must be eliminated. Was I finally going to be eliminated? I realized I had been underestimating my punishment. I hadn't been aware of the real terror until now. I just thought I was. Beyond the steel door, the air had an intimidating smell. This really was happening to me. I shouldn't allow myself to give in to fear. I felt like saying something rude, but my lips were dry, and my fingers were fidgeting. I was escorted through the narrow hallway and down a few sets of stairs. There, I saw another huge steel door. So, this was the place. It was spacious and utterly odd-looking room. The room had two sections that looked completely different. One side looked like a lounge. I saw several high-ranking members of the family council sitting on cushions there, looking expressionless. The other half was tiled, as if in a large public bath.
It's easier to clean that way.
That was already puzzling enough. And there were those things. To be honest, they had captured my attention from the moment I arrived. I noticed them even before I saw the lounge and tiled space. I just didn't want to accept that they existed. I couldn't stand straight. I almost dropped to my knees, but I couldn't. Two young men had been holding me by my arms since I got here. There were oddly shaped things hanging from the wall. I was just refusing to recognize what they were. I knew exactly what they were called. I see. I understood that those eerily shaped objects were torture devices from hell. Damned fool! How dare you return? The hag, sitting at the front of the lounge, intimidated me in a horrid voice. She kept cursing me for a little while, but she was so incensed that I could barely tell what she was saying. I knew what she was trying to say, though. The hag was willing to forgive my escape from the school. But once I revealed my identity to the police, she had to step in. Since I had disobeyed the family rule, she, as the leader, was forced to punish me.
Wait! They can't kill me, though! They can't kill me, though, because the police will find out, and the police will be like,
Where did she go? She was our only witness to Satoshi-kun being here. It's almost like she got whacked or something.
they can't kill me, though! They can take a pinky or two, probably, but... Or three? Do I have 3 pinkies? I guess.
Since I had disobeyed the family rule, she, as the leader, was forced to punish me. Ooh. Moreover, there was one thing that bothered her more than anything else. The fact that I covered for Satoshi-kun. The Hojo family had been seen as traitors to the village ever since the damn conflict. Satoshi-kun is still considered one of them. She couldn't accept that I was connected to him. To me, this was a bit unexpected. I'd escaped from the school the hag put me in. All the while, I believed that was what she was upset about. But in fact, she said she was the most uncomfortable with my connection to Satoshi-kun. I couldn't believe this. Of course, I knew that Satoshi-kun's family was persecuted for their betrayal. But I didn't think that Satoshi-kun was also burdened with that responsibility.
そんなのサトシ君関係ないじゃないですか。
He has nothing to do with that.
サトシ君の親はわかるとしても、サトシ君個人には何の責任もな。
I understand that his parents were ostracized, but he shouldn't be.
しゃあなしよ。
Shut the hell up! The hag interrupted me with a shout, which made me cower in fear. She continued slandering the Hojos and said that Satoshi-kun was a cursed child. I started feeling pissed off. What did he do to deserve this? What was he being blamed for? It was too late when I realized I had said that out loud. Ooh, I'm feisty. Ooh. The hag looked furious. I'd obviously upset her. I decided to repeat myself to make it very clear how I felt.
鬼ババ、あんた何言ってんの？
What are you saying, you old hag?
黙って聞いてれば言いたい放題。
What are you saying, you old hag? Everything you've spouted is nonsense. Huh?
なんばねすったら口の利き。
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
やかましい！しまいまで聞きなよ、鬼ババ！
Shut the fuck up!
This is making me laugh. Hold on, sorry.
Shut the fuck up! Let me finish! I shouted loudly to silence the
だい
hag.
たいあんたはサトシ君の何を知ってるの？
What the fuck do you know about Satoshi-kun?
サトシ君のことをよく知りもしないくせに、まるで彼を害虫みたいに言い捨てて。
How could you talk about him like he's some pest when you don't know anything about him?
サトシ君がどんなにいい人か私はよく知っている。
I know how sweet he is.
彼が北条だからいけないの？
You don't like him because he's a hojo?
バッカみたい。
How fucking stupid is that?
時代錯誤も甚だしい。
Is even your brain archaic or what?
園崎の私が北条のサトシ君と一緒にいたのがそんなにも不愉快なの？
You hate the fact that a Sonozaki is with a hojo that much?
くったらないくったらないバッカみたい。
Baka mitai! That's not just stupid. That's beyond stupid.
こんな安っぽい色味釣りを自分で体験できるなんて思わなかったな。
Boy, I never expected to feel like Juliet. Oh, great. My voice became hoarse from shouting. My face was messy with tears. Even so, I didn't feel like putting a stop to my emotional explosion. I was all too aware that I was doing this just to overwhelm my fear. The hag was glaring at me while breathing heavily. I glared back at her as fiercely as I could. Eventually, I realized that her sticking point was my relationship with Satoshi-kun. She wasn't only upset that I had a mere connection with him.
そっか。ミオンがそういう告げ口をしたわけか。
I see. Looks like Mion mentioned that, too.
I see, I see.
It was as though Mion was wearing a mask. She didn't budge under my penetrating glare. That was what the hag was really unhappy about. The fact that I was in love with Satoshi-kun.
She has a stupid laugh too.
確かに私、自分が園崎家だとか、サトシ君が北条家だとか、そんなの全然興味ないし、園崎家のメンツがとか、世間体がどうとか、全然関心ありません。
I don't give a shit about his family background or my own.
認めますよ、認めます。
Yeah, I'll admit that I'm in love with him.
私は北条サトシ君が好きです。
I love Satoshi Hojo-kun.
彼のことが大好きです。
大好きです。
I love him so much.
それっていけないこと？
And is that so wrong?
人が人を好きになるのに何か理由が必要？
Do you need a reason to love somebody? I could see that the relatives shaking their heads in turmoil. Among them, I saw my mom. She must have been trying to protect me. But even she wouldn't look at me. Instead, she looked silently at the floor.
後ろのあんたたちも聞こえてるでしょ？
Did you guys in the back hear me?
私おかしいこと言ってる？
Am I wrong?
あんたたちだってサトシ君をよく知れば、彼がどんなに素敵な男の子で私が好きになるのがおかしくないことがすぐにわかる。
You'd know how sweet Satoshi-kun is in an instant if you bothered to get to know him.
なのに、なんで相手の人格も知ろうとしないで一方的に。
How can you put him down without... Mion held out a hand to silence me. Then, she slowly walked in my direction.
もう結構です、シオン。
That's enough, Shion.
あなたの言い分と覚悟はよくわかりました。
I understand what you wanted to say. Mion put her head close to mine and whispered.
シオンの覚悟はよくわかったよ。
Shion, I know how you feel.
でもここまで言い切っちゃったら
You can't go
誰にももう
back
か
after
ばえ
coming
ない。
this far.
シオンがけじめをつけてみせるしかない。
You have to pay for what you did.
けじめ？
What did I do?
なんで私が？
Why me?
私がなんでそんなバカな？
That's ridiculous.
シオン。
Shion. Mion's face turned cold again. She calmly told
あ
me.
なたの言う個人の理屈は多分正しい。
You're probably right.
でもね、
But
あなたも理解していると思うけど、ここはひなみ沢で、私たちは園崎家なの。
this is Hinamizawa, and we are Sonozakis. As I'm sure you understand.
御三家の末席で、今や事実上のひなみ沢の筆頭家。
We are the leaders of the three families.
そしてあなたは仮にも、園崎家次期当主である園崎美音の双子の妹。
And you are the twin sister of the successor, Mion Sonozaki.
それが
Yet, I interrupted her.
あんたとは、こっちに帰ってから、どうもそのあたりの話が食い合わないですね。
We haven't agreed on that matter ever since I came
大
back.
人の事情みたいなことばっか。
You're full of this reputation shit.
ひなみ沢？
Hinamizawa?
園崎家？
The Sonozakis?
だから何？
So what?
私はそんなの全然興味な。
I don't give a fuck about.
聞きなさい。
Listen! Mion interrupted me, just like I did her.
シオンは今日まで沖宮で生活するにあたって、どれだけの人の世話になってる？
How many people did you depend on to start your new life in Okinomiya? Chills shot through my spine.
葛西さん、奥の牢屋にいる。
Kasai-san is in a cell at the back.
なんで葛西が？
Why Kasai? I knew why, of course. The moment I got caught, those who helped me were destined to meet the same fate. We were all subject to the punishment of betrayal. Maybe my punishment would be lighter than what they'd be going through. Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro must have been treated much worse than this. Everybody who helped me was falling
シ
victim.
オンがどういう目にあっても、シオン本人は覚悟があるからいいだろうけど、
I know that you are prepared for your
お世
punishment.
話になった葛西さんや吉郎おじさんがどうなるかまでは考えが及ばない？
But have you ever thought of the consequences that Kasai-san and Uncle Yoshiro will have to face? My head rapidly cooled down. My aggression was all used up. I should be able to bear whatever punishment they'd bring on me. But I resented the fact that I'd be putting the people who supported me at risk.
シオン、
Shion,
ばっちゃんに謝って、
apologize to Granny.
けじめをつけてみせれば、シオン一人だけの話で全部済む。
The others won't have to suffer.
誰にも迷惑をかけない。
All right?
でもミオン、
But
こんなにも悪いことした？
is any of what I did that bad? The moment Mion learned that I wasn't willing to apologize, her expression turned cold again. She turned her back to me and returned to the lounge. I talked back to the hag in a really harsh manner. I told her that I didn't do anything wrong, yet it involved so many people to who I owed so much. It went without saying, this was my responsibility. I was the sole person to blame, and no fault lay on with them. Yes, Kasai and Yoshiro were blameless, just as Satoshi-kun was. But then, as if she read my mind, Mion turned around and gave a slight nod. It was possible that something was going to happen to Satoshi-kun, on top of Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro.
待って、お
Wait! Sis! That can't happen. Satoshi-kun, I mean, nobody else should be punished. Please forgive them.
何ですか、シオン。
What is it, Shion? Tears rolled down my cheeks. I no longer cared about my pride.
ごめんなさい。
ごめんなさい。I'm sorry.
私が間違っていました。
I was wrong.
許してください。
Please forgive me. I should have said what the hag wanted to hear. Yet, she still looked unsatisfied. Maybe that wasn't too surprising. I had just denounced her so badly in front of the relatives. She wouldn't forgive me so easily. Just then, Mion spoke as the successor.
ではシオン、
So, Shion,
どうやってけじめをつけるつも
how do
り
you
です。
propose to pay for this?
けじめってどうすれば。
Pay? What do you want me to do? Nothing could be scarier than being told to pay up while standing next to horrid-looking torture devices. I was completely terrified. I couldn't move from trembling. Mion saw that and whispered to our grandmother. The hag nodded. Mion summoned some young minions and gave them an order. They removed one of the torture devices hanging on the wall, and then set a table in front of me and put the device on top of it.
何これ。
What is this?
爪を剥ぐための道具です。
It's a tool for removing fingernails.
使い方はわかります。
Do you know how to use it?
わかるわけないでしょ。
No way. I shook as I stared at the tool. It looked like a giant nail clipper. You probably put the part that looks like a beak between your finger and fingernail, pulling them apart if you squeeze the handle. Chills ran up and down my spine when I imagined that.
爪1枚ずつでシオンがかけた迷惑のそれぞれのけじめとします。
Each fingernail represents one of your responsibilities.
園崎シオン。
Sonozaki Shion.
どの指でも構いません。
No matter which ones you choose,
自らの手で
you must
3枚の爪を
remove
剥がして
3
みせなさ
nails
い。
yourself. 3. One for Kasei, one for Uncle Yoshiro, and the last for Satoshi-kun. It was a fairly reasonable number.
本当にそれで他の人は許してくれるんですか。
Will you really not punish the others?
約束して。
Promise me.
私がちゃんと自分の爪を剥げたら
Let them go
他
if
の
I
みんなは
do
許す。
this.
これはあなたのけじめであって取引ではありませんよ。
This is a punishment, not a negotiation.
この方法が気に入らないなら
If you don't like the procedure,
やるから待って。
I'll do it.
待ってよ。
Just give me a second. I'm doing it.
Oh crap, here we go. Let's go. Y'all say she's the worst girl, she's the best girl. Fuck all of you. She's doing this for everybody. Fuck. Your waifu wouldn't break a nail for you. This one's ripping the whole of them off. Baka. All y'all talk shit so much about her. Y'all talk so much shit. I'm furious right now. Y'all talk so much shit about Shion. So much shit. My waifu would kill for me.
Who is your waifu?
Oh, hey, Auntie. No, all y'all talk so much shit about Shion.
Oh, she's evil. Oh, she's annoying. Oh, she's not as cute as Mion. Oh, she's actually evil, Sawa. Oh, she's a bad person.
Look at what she's doing right now! Y'all got me twisted, man. Y'all straight up talk so much shit. The one who gets mad about the doll. Who? You know what? Fuck that chapter. But you know what? He didn't know at the time, so that's okay. He didn't know at the time. We didn't know at the time, so it's okay. We could just spend. Oh, but look what she's doing now, huh? Look what she's doing now. She's ripping out 3 fingernails. 3. How many your fucking waifu wouldn't take a hard pinch for you. I believe that to the fullest. And you talking shit about the best girl, man. No, man. No, I'm mad now. If she was smart, she'd be attacking that. No, she'd be dead. But she couldn't even reach her. Mion would probably kill her. Because Mion's a bitch. Like I said.
I put the device to my little finger while shaking badly. If my finger was shorter, it would have been harder. The metal beak captured my little finger beautifully. The subordinates then stabilized my left hand with a different restraining tool. That seemed reasonable because my finger would slip out if it weren't restrained like that. As the subordinates buckled up the leather straps, I realized that this was really happening, and that there was no escape. Somewhere in my mind, I'd been thinking that they might forgive me after just the gesture alone. I shouldn't have been so naive. The emotions I'd been holding back appeared in the form of tears and kept rolling down my cheeks. It was like my feelings were being squeezed out until the very last drip. Something even more horrifying followed this. It was a silence that awaited my next action.
どうするの?
So, what should I do now? One of the subordinates pointed to the handle and told me either to squeeze it or hit it. She recommended the latter because it would be easier to make it quick.
Oh no, I don't think I can listen to this.
Nobody said anything after that. There was nothing to hear but the sound of my sweat dripping onto the floor. The onlookers were staring at me silently, waiting for me to execute my punishment. Both the hag and Mion. They were also anticipating it. I could refuse, but that meant I wouldn't be paying up. This punishment exists to offer payment in exchange for the safety of those who helped me. If I refused, they would suffer.
Oh my god!
I started breathing heavily. I knew that if I did this, the others would go free. This was, if you thought about it, quite a good deal. If it weren't me, it wouldn't be just 3 fingernails. If it were Kasai, he'd have to sacrifice his little finger or something even worse. I knew that. It was my own selfish desire to get away from that school. Why did Kasai have to suffer because of that? I knew that. Why did Uncle Yoshiro have to suffer because he provided me with a job?
Oh my god. Oh.
I knew that the hag and the other relatives still hated the Hojos. So I didn't know what they'd do to Satoshi-kun if I didn't do this. Would they bring Satoshi-kun here and tell him to do the same? Would they tell him to remove his fingernails in exchange for forgiving me? Oh my god.
This is so sick. I'm not gonna scream. I'm not. I can't. It's very late here.
He'd do it. He'd sacrifice himself with no hesitation in order to save others. My sweat dripped onto the table through my nose. I'd do it. Yes. It was only 3 fingernails. It might hurt a lot, but I wouldn't die. The fingernails would grow back. Wouldn't it leave a huge scar? I shouldn't be afraid. Punishment was minimal, because it was me. If I refused to do this, the others would be punished much more severely. I couldn't let that happen to Kasai, Uncle Yoshiro, or Satoshi-kun. I was the only one who should be punished. So I just needed to bear the pain.
You can do it. You can do it.
I wasn't just breathing heavily anymore. I was also moaning faintly. I was ready to scream at any moment. That's right. Make it quick. This wasn't torture, so I didn't have to prolong the moment of pain. I should do it in one swift blow. That way, my pain and fear would be minimized. I raised my right arm. Quickly. The pain would be lessened if I did it in one stroke. It would be much more painful if I messed it up.
Let's go!
I held my breath. I felt as if my body was frozen. I was choking. The chills crept up my spine. Don't be afraid, Shion. Fingernails are just a tiny fraction of the whole body. Just 1 square centimeter. I could do this. I could bear it.
Oh, no!
I smacked my right hand until the handle of the device.
Let's go! Best girl! Best girl! Oh, yo, fuck all y'all talking shit about Shion! Best girl! Ah! That wasn't too loud.
Ice.
Hello, Hank. Why are you always here when I'm screaming? Isn't that silly? Why do you always show up when I'm screaming?
Betta. I sensed the noise through my body instead of through my ears. At the same time, I felt a pain I'd never experienced before. A moment later, the pain pulsated with my heartbeat.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I had something similar almost happen to where my fingers were stuck in a garage door, all of them. My hands got stuck in a garage door, and I, like a dumbass, pulled them out myself. My fingernails kind of got bruised because of that, but they didn't rip out, thank God. They almost kind of did, but I did it. You know what? We're not talking about that because the pain was very bad. She deserves the pain for how she treated Sadoko. That's not, they wouldn't even care. Sonosaki family wouldn't fucking care about that. That's not even what we're here for. We're not even here for being punished for that. In fact, they'd probably give me a fucking medal. They'd give me a medal, maybe a cake, I don't fucking know. They'd be happy I did that. Maybe I should have told them.
Wait, but I beat up his little sister. What? Can I just, like, two fingernails?
She is wicked in the same ways.
No.
You're wrong.
I clenched my teeth. I felt like my teeth were crackling. I tightly shut my eyes until my eyeballs got squeezed up. The pain wouldn't fade. Rather, it swelled with my blood pressure. I felt as though I was bloating like a balloon. Timidly, I opened my eyes. I found that my little finger wasn't really drenched in blood. It was bleeding, but not much. Certainly not enough to explain how much it hurt. My fingernail was open, just like the hood of a car. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was overwhelming. It occurred to me that I'd only done 1 out of the 3. Did I have to repeat this 2 more times? Did I have to remove the nails of my ring finger and middle fingers as well? Looked like the hag and Mion. I looked at the hag and Mion, begging for mercy. But they were just silently staring at me, as if the show had only just begun. I saw no hint of mercy in their eyes. They wouldn't be changing their minds. Since they said 3, it had to be 3. They wouldn't forgive me until I removed 2 more fingernails.
Mio. これで許して
Mion, look, isn't this enough?
Well, she already kind of hated her sister in the family already.
すごく痛いんだよ
It really hurts. You know that?
私の顔を見ればわかるよね。
You see that in my eyes, don't you? It really hurts.
Man. Oh, man.
Mion answered, still wearing a cold look. Shion. You can't keep going? She didn't mean that it was sufficient. What she meant is that the others would have to take the remaining punishment if I didn't. I knew that. I really did know.
やれるよ。
I'll do it.
こんなの全然楽勝だ。
This is easy.
このサディストな
You
のが。
sadist.
こんなの怖くない。
This doesn't scare me. This doesn't hurt.
Whoa. She's so good.
I quickly moved the metal beak and set it on my ring finger and smacked it with no hesitation.
My girl, let's go.
Instead of making it quick, maybe I was just rushing out of fear. I'd messed up. The tortured tool had clipped just the tip of my fingernail. The pain, however, was equal. I couldn't believe I only chipped it. Did I have to do it again? Did I have to continue removing the nail from my ring finger? How much pain? Again. Again.
Shion.
Shion.
Shion, you have to do. Shion, come on. Shion, come on. Your best girl. Come on. You gotta do it.
No, I don't want to do it. I couldn't bear it anymore. I started crying shamelessly.
Come on. She has to do it.
I can't take it anymore. It's too painful.
They're not going to.
Forgive me, please. Sorry. I apologize.
That reminds me the pattern of I'm sorry. That's not how this works in this story.
I'm sorry.
That's not how this works.
They didn't seem to hear my voice. It felt as though there was an invisible barrier between us. They showed no mercy. They were just here to witness this ritual. So, rather than sympathetic, they looked amazed by my screw-up. Mion walked up to me and whispered to my crying face. Shion.
あとちょっとだから頑張って。
There's just a bit more to go. Hang in there. I can't do this. It really hurts. It really does. Mion shook her head and signaled the subordinates. They came from behind me. I covered my head with something like a knit cap. It was a blindfold. One of them pinned me in a Nelson hold, restricting my movement. No, stop it! No! I couldn't overpower the guy behind me, and I felt something strange on my left hand. The other guy was doing something with the torture tool. I put the metal beak between my ring finger and its fingernail.
Wow! And I forgot her mom was in the room. Oh!
My left hand was fixed in the restraints, so I couldn't put up much protest anyway. But even that left hand was pressed down by his rough palms until it hurt, robbing me of my freedom to even tremble. They had no hesitation.
Here we go.
It was made very clear to me how merciless people can be. Robbed of my vision, all I could do was clench my teeth against the pain assailing me. If there was anything I was thankful for, it was that he was well practiced, and had ripped off both my fingernails cleanly. Pain and screaming might induce narcotic chemicals in the brain. While screaming, I started losing consciousness. I woke up. My memories were missing. I couldn't remember how I got back to my room. I held my head with both hands. My left was bandaged. The fingers that had their nails removed had swollen like hot dogs. I had paid with those 3 fingernails for what I did. The hag had said something after the punishment, but I didn't remember any of it. I was taken to a hospital in Okinomiya. The car shook on the way, adding extra pain on top of what I already felt. Somebody gave me some aspirin. They worked just like they said on TV, but they didn't last more than 10 minutes. I'd swallowed the pills without water. While I was spacing out in the waiting lounge, Kasai showed up. He probably came to check if I was all right. I obviously wasn't. He must have understood that from my bandaged left arm dangling from my shoulder. Kasai, on the other hand, looked just fine. At least, on the outside. I was relieved that my sacrifice had meant something. Kasai didn't say anything. I could tell if he wanted to tell me... I couldn't tell if he wanted to tell me something or not, because he looked so emotionless.
Kasai?
Kasai.
なんでしょ
Yes.
He paused shortly before answering. I could tell he was upset. I didn't regret revealing my true identity in order to protect Satoshi-kun, but I hadn't wanted Kasai or Uncle Yoshiro to be hurt. I had been contradicting myself.
ヨシロおじさんはどうなったか知ってます？
Do you know how Uncle Yoshiro is doing?
ういいえ
No.
したたかな方です
But I'm sure he's alright.
ご無事と思います
Because he's strong.
後で謝られた方がいいでしょ
Even so, you should apologize to him.
Okay. I wanted to ask him about Satoshi-kun too. I wondered if he was captured or harassed by the Sonozaki family because of me. But I was hesitant to ask Kasai. After all, I'd chosen Satoshi-kun over them. Was Satoshi-kun all right? I hoped he wouldn't get caught or incarcerated somewhere. I'd paid the hospital bill, and Kasai gave me a ride home. I finally realized that somebody was knocking at on my door.
シオンさん
Shion-san,
横になり続けるのもやはり体に
it's
毒
not
です
healthy to sleep so much.
It was Kasai. He put some side dishes on the table and started nibbling at them.
気分は落ち着かれましたか
How do you feel?
落ち着いたというか、
Depressed.
この数日間はずっと伏せっていたんですか
Have you been resting?
食事はされてい
Have
まし
you
た
been
か
eating?
冷蔵庫の中の残り物を適当に食べてました。
I've been eating the stuff left in the fridge.
あとは天井を見てるか眠っているかのどっちか。
Otherwise, I've been either sleeping or staring at the ceiling. It had been 3 days. I'd just been lying down since then. I woke up every now and then in my shallow sleep, but I didn't feel like getting up or thinking. I felt like I'd just been floating the whole time. My appetite was gone, but it came back with the smell of the food Kasai brought. I wasn't able to think of anything to talk to Kasai about, so I just ate silently.
昨日ミオンさんから連絡がありました
I got a call from Mion-san yesterday.
シオンさんの部屋に何度か電話したけど出なかったからということで
She was saying she called you a few times, but never got through.
The moment I heard Mion's name, I felt my wounds throb. But it didn't stop Kasai, who continued.
園崎本家としては シオンさんがご自分でけじめをつけられたので、
Because you
これで
paid
決
up,
着とするそうです。
the family decided to close the
あの
matter.
学園には退学届が出されます。
You will officially withdraw from the academy
シオンさんは沖宮の学校に編入になるそうです。
and transfer to a school in
そ
Okinomiya.
の崎シオンの人権が認められたってことか。
They're finally acknowledging my right to make my own decisions, huh?
そうですね。
そうですね。
今後は園崎シオンとして生活してくださって構わないそうです。
They said you could live as yourself now, under a few
で
conditions.
すが、みだりにひなみ沢には近づかないこ
Ah,
You will stay away from
と、園
Hinamizawa.
崎ミオンを語らないこと、
You won't pretend to be Mion Sonozaki.
人前にみだりに姿を現さないこと、他にも細々とありますが、つまるところ、
You won't show up in public places and so on. This means
存在を認めてやるから、本家に目立つようなことは二度とするなってわけか。
in exchange for acknowledging me, they don't want me to hang around.
そういうことになります。
that's correct.
もちろん永続的なわけじゃあ
Of
りません。
course, it is only temporary.
ほとぼりが冷めるまで
Until
当
things cool
分
down.
ということ
I
です。
wouldn't even want to be associated if I could.
If she could, she probably would want to get rid of her last
具
name.
体的にいつまでという期限があるわけではありませんが、今年いっぱいくらいはこれまで通り目立たない生活を送られた方がよろしいかと思います。
There's no set duration, but I think you should stay inconspicuous at least until the end of the year.
私は沖宮でひっそり暮らすだけで十分です。
It'd be good enough just to live in Okinomiya
もと
quietly.
もとこれまでだってそうして暮らし
The
てき
way
た
it
わけだ
was
し。
before. Kasei put on a sad smile. I smiled back at him likewise. Before the conversation ended, I asked him what I wanted to know. I should have asked him what I
サトシ君は
wanted to know.
どうなったの？
How's Satoshi-kun doing? I wish that Kasei would assure me of his safety right away. But he didn't answer like that.
葛西、
Kasei?
サトシ君は
Is he
無事な
alright?
の？
シオンさん、
Shion-san.
Kasei put his chopsticks down.
本家から北条聡君のことは
Fuck the
忘れ
family.
ろとことづかっています。
The family wants you to forget about it.
何それ？
何それ？
シオンさん、あなたと喧嘩はしたくないんで、これ以上この話はしたくありません。
Shion-san, I don't want to get in an argument with you, so I will not get into the
本
details.
家からの言葉を伝える
I'm
のみ
only
に
relaying
と
to
ど
you
め
what
さ
the
せて
family
もらい
wants.
ます。
Fuck the family.
何？その話をしたくないってのは。
What are you talking about?
葛西！
What details, Kasai? Kasai pretended as though he didn't hear me and started eating again. I'd never seen him get so stubborn like this. The Sonozaki family had been using the Hojo family as a scapegoat. They have concluded that a Sonozaki shouldn't be in love with a Hojo. I didn't like that. Satoko is a friend of Mion's at school. Would it be okay if Satoshi-kun and I were the same gender? Anyway, if I did something conspicuous again, they might do something to him for real. Just like they forced me to remove my own fingernails. The Sonozaki family wouldn't hesitate. They'd torture him if need be. Maybe, if I really loved him, I should stay away. Satoshi-kun wouldn't show up in Okinomiya unless he rejoins the Hinamizawa fighters. I'd have to pretend to Mion that if I wanted to go to Hinamizawa. Yeah, I couldn't pretend to be Mion anymore anyway. But I didn't think she'd cooperate with me. Even if she did, it'd be some time down the road. Even if they told me not to see him, I already had no means of doing that again. Oh, wait. Mion gave me his number a little while ago. I could call him and maybe ask to meet him secretly. But if I got caught again, they wouldn't cut me any slack. Should I risk it? What the hell did I even want from Satoshi-kun?
葛西、
Kasei,
ちょっと一人になりたい。
can I be alone for a moment? Kasei started putting away his food in a rush, assuming that I wanted him to
あ、
leave.
いいの。
Oh no, that's not what I meant.
葛西はのんびり食べてて。
Take your time and finish your food.
私がちょっと一人で散歩がしたいだけなの。
私もシオンさんと一緒に出ないとこの部屋に鍵がかけられません。
You can't lock this place up if I don't step out with you.
Great. Kase quickly put away his meal and followed me out.
先に断っとくけど、別にサトシ君に会いに行くわけじゃないからね。
Just to be clear, I'm not going out to see Satoshi-kun, alright?
わかりました。
I see.
I turned around and started walking. My destination was rather pathetic. It was the toy store that sold the giant teddy bear. I couldn't deny that I was somewhat expecting Satoshi-kun to pass by there. I couldn't stop myself from looking at the faces of passerby who resembled him. I looked into the store's window. The teddy bear was gone.
サトシ君、おめでとう。
Congrats, Satoshi-kun.
買えたんだね。
Looks like you were able to buy it. His evil aunt had died, and his wicked uncle was living with his mistress. Satoshi-kun succeeded in fulfilling his duty as a big brother by buying his little sister that huge teddy bear. There was nobody left to hurt him. He was free from his tiresome efforts. He was completely free from pain. Over time, he'd retrieve his smile, and he'd go back to being the Satoshi-kun I love. But I wouldn't be there with him. I heard a car honking. I didn't think it was honking at me at first, but it was so persistent that I had to look up. The person waving at me from the car was Irie. He was waving at me all carefree, oblivious to my feelings.
園崎さん
Sonozaki-san!
ご無沙汰しています
Long
ね
time no see.
ひょ
Oh,
っとしてサトシ君と待ち合わ
are
せ
you
でし
meeting
た
up
か
with Hojo-san?
いえ、そういうわけじゃないです。
No, I'm not.
そのおもちゃ屋さんのショーウィンドウはサトシ君もよく覗いていましたからね
I know he looks into the store's windows all the
それ
time.
でてっきり
So,
サトシ君との待ち合わせか何かかなって思
I
っちゃいまし
assumed
て
you were expecting him here or something.
いえ、たまたまここを通りかかっただけです。
No, I'm just passing by.
買えたみたいですね。サトシ君。
Looks like he was able to buy that teddy bear. Irie seemed to know about the teddy bear as well. He smiled upon seeing its empty display space.
昨日がサトコちゃんの誕生日でした
Yesterday was Satoko-chan's birthday.
とあのぬいぐるみでそれをお祝いできたと思
He
いま
must
す
have celebrated it with that teddy bear.
じゃあもうサトシ君は無茶なアルバイトに精を出さなくてもいいわけですね。
He doesn't have to work hard anymore, huh?
そうですね
So desu ne. Indeed.
サトシ君ってひなみざわファイターズ退部届とか出しちゃったんですか？
Did he turn in his resignation to the Hinuizawa fighters?
そんなもの出てたんですか
Oh, does that even exist?
私は受け取ってませんよ
I never received one.
マネージャーの園崎さんは
Did you, Sonozaki-san?
受け取ってないです。
No, I didn't.
誰も退部届を受け取ってないならまだうちの部員ってことですね
So, that means he still belongs to the team.
しばらくして生活が落ち着いたらまた戻ってきてくれるんじゃないかなって思ってます
I think he'll be back after things settle down.
Pat, 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 get
What?
happy, get happy,
Get
get
happy,
happy.
get happy, get happy.
I won't get happy because Satoshi-kun dies.
Anyway,
でもその時に園崎さんがいなかったらきっと悲しむだろうな
he doesn't die.
But I know he'll be sad if he doesn't see you there. Irie teased me. He's a grown-up after all. He must have been trying to sound optimistic because he knew I was feeling a bit down.
園崎さんも落ち着いたらいつでもチームに帰ってきてください
You can come back to the team anytime you want.
あなたがいないとやっぱり寂しいですよ
It might as well be empty without you.
園崎さんが帰ってきてくれたらぜひ女子マネージャーの制服をメイドさんな格好にしようと思ってまして
Let's go.
I'm thinking of providing you with a maid costume once you come back. I burst into laughter. Irie sure hasn't changed.
あ、そうだ。
Oh, I almost forgot.
もう名乗ってもいいんだった。
I can tell you my name now.
監督、今まで騙しててすみません。
Sorry, coach. I was lying about my identity.
私、ミオ
I'm
ンじゃ
not
ないん
Mion.
です。シオンっていう双子の妹な
I'm
ん
her
です。
twin sister, Shion.
訳ありで、今までずっとミオンのふりしてきました。
I've been pretending to be her for a few reasons. What?
双子の妹さんですか？
Now he has 100.
Twin maids, twin maids, twin maids, twin maids.
Twin maids, twin maids, twin maids. Let's go.
You're Mio-san's twin sister? He was totally taken aback. I burst into laughter
そうで
again.
す。
Yes.
園崎シオン
I'm
と言います。
Shion Sonozaki.
園崎本家に嫌われてるんで、あまり堂々と暮らせる立場じゃないん
I'm
ですけ
forced
ど
to
ね。
live quietly because my grandmother hates me, though.
知らなかったですよ。
I never realized.
まさかミオンさんに双子の妹さんがいたなんて。
Mio-san had a twin sister.
そりゃ全く同感です。
Same here.
Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted us. The voice sounded mean and greasy, unlike Irie's. It was him, Ooishi.
入江先生もこんにちは。
Hello, Dr. Irie.
先日は遅くまでありがとうございました。
Thank you for your cooperation last night.
いえ、何もお役に立てませんで
Don't mention
申
it.
し訳ないです。
It wasn't much help.
Oh, that's the body. That's the body scene that we had before, where Irie couldn't do much of anything and walked away and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up."
They were just going through the motions. It was obvious that they hated each other. Irie whispered to me.
私はもうここを離れますが、一緒に車に乗りますか？
I'm leaving now. Do you want to get in my car?
お家まで送りますよ。
I can drive you home. Irie figured that Ooishi was after me, so he's giving me a chance to slip away. Looking at Oishi's face, it was clear that his focus was on me, not Irie. He probably intended to interrogate me until my testimony broke. I was sure I could talk my way out of it, but it'd just be a waste of time.
そうですね。
そうですね. All right.
じゃあ監督、
Coach.
そろそろ行きましょう
Let's
か。
get going.
ありゃお二人でどちらかにお出かけの途中でしたか？
Oh, are you two going somewhere together?
ええ、
Yes.
チームの夕涼み会用に景品を探しているところだったんです。
We're on our way to get some stuff for the team.
他にも行くお店がたくさんありますので、この辺で私たちは失礼します。
We have to drop by a few places, so will you excuse us? Irie bowed. I followed suit. I had to admire how good he was at lying. He's a grown-up, after all. Ooishi seemed to know that it was a lie. But he didn't have a warrant, so he couldn't stop us. I moved to get into Irie's car.
お怪我は大丈夫なんですか？
How are your wounds?
園崎しおんさん。
Shion Sonozaki-san.
I gasped when I heard that. My left hand was bandaged. It was unsightly, so I kept it in my pocket. There was no way Ooishi could have been able to see it.
可能さえしなきゃきれいに治りますよ。
They'll heal with no problems if they don't get infected.
私も子供の頃は何度か爪を剥いじゃったことがありましたがね。
はい
ほ
と
ら、きれいなもんでしょう。
I tore my fingernails off a couple times myself when I was a kid. But look, they look beautiful now, don't they?
男の爪が綺麗でも気色悪いだけです。
Men's fingernails shouldn't look beautiful. That gives me the creeps. Ooishi scratched his head and chuckled. He's supposed to be one of the best cops in Okinomiya PD at the Okinomiya PD, and he knows all about the underground activities in the region. He must have heard about my payment from somewhere. Still, that happened in the secret basement of the Sonozaki main house. I couldn't underestimate this guy's sources.
お見舞い。感謝感激です。
Thank you for your kind words.
じゃあ、もう行きますね。
Well, I'll be going now.
失礼します。
We'll be going now. Excuse us.
園崎しおんさん。
Shion Sonozaki-san.
私とコーヒーでも飲みに行きません？
Why don't we get a coffee together sometime?
は
Huh?
何それ私を口説いた
Are
ん
you
ですか
hitting on me?
そういうことでも
If you like.
遠慮します。
Sorry.
一日は有限。
Time
わ
flies.
ざわざ退屈なことに費やすなんて馬鹿げてますから。
I can't waste any of that precious time on things that don't interest me.
もう参ったな。
You got me there.
じゃあこうしましょう。
How about this then?
私とのおしゃべりが退屈になったらいつでも途中で帰っていいです。
You can leave any time if you get bored of talking to me.
引き止めません？
I won't stop you.
そういう約束でどうです？
How does that sound?
あんたが喋るのは勝手ですが、私は喋りませんよ。
I don't mind you talking, but I won't talk back.
それをおしゃべりと呼べるかは怪しいですが。
I doubt you could call it a conversation.
ねえ、それで結構です
Yeah, that'd be fine.
シオンさんは聞き役で
You can just
結構
listen.
私が勝手に一
And I'll
方的に
talk.
あなたはコーヒーでも飲みながら中年親父の独り言を聞き流してくださればそれで結構です
You can just listen to an old man ramble while sipping on a cup of coffee.
He was being strangely persistent. It didn't look like he was trying to poke a hole in my statement. What would he eat? Yeah, what would he even talk about? I got a bit curious, even though I was still skeptical.
監督、
Coach,
すみません。私、ちょっと大石のおじさまとデートに行こうと
go
思い
with
ます
the。old man instead. Huh.
ミオじゃない。シオンさん
Leo, I mean, Shotsan. I winked at him and told him not to worry. He didn't insist. He got in his car and drove off. What would he be saying? Ooishi backed his car up so I could get in. I hopped in the back seat since I didn't want to sit next to him.
本当に喫茶店に行くの？
Are we really going to a cafe?
あなたの親類の目がない喫茶店があるなら紹介してもらえると助かるんですがね
If you could direct me to one with no connection to your family, that'd be great.
チェ。それなら勝手に連行でも何でもすればいい。
That's how that sounds. Hold on.
Why didn't you just take me to the station then? Ooishi carefully checked for oncoming traffic and then started driving. Ooishi took me to the police station, as I thought he might. If he had taken me to a nice cafe, he would have scored some points. But whatever.
書の方が都合がいいと思ったから書にしただけです
I thought it'd be more convenient if we came here.
私の話が退屈になったら帰っていいという約束はもちろん守りますから安心してく
You
だ
can
さい
still go home if you get bored.
私を退屈させないように頑張ってくださいな。
Try your best not to bore me then.
署内には腕組んで入ってあげましょうか。おじさま。
Do you want me to go into the station hand in hand with you? Ooishi chuckled and got out of the car. He escorted me inside the station. I thought he'd take me to an interrogation room, but instead he took me to an office of the investigation division. Officers in both suits and uniforms were working at their desks, answering the phones. There was a desk with a plate that said Section Manager, and nearby there were couches and a table. Ooishi told me to sit on the couch and started making some instant coffee. I'd never been to this part of the police station. I looked around in curiosity.
まさか取調室でカツ丼でも食わされると思いました
The station has better coffee anyway and pound cake. Lemon pound cake? Is that...
Did you think I'd take you to an interrogation room?
Ooishi brought over a tray with coffee cups on it.
想像してたより待遇が良くて驚いてます。
You're treating me better than I expected.
三角木馬くらいは覚悟してたのに。
I thought you'd whip me or something.
そういうのは私の趣味じゃないな。
My tastes don't run that way.
で、
So,
おしゃべりを聞かせてくれるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
I thought you wanted to talk.
じゃあ最初からいきなり単刀直入に。
All right, I'll cut to the chase.
シオンさんって北条聡さんのこと好き？
Are you in love with Satoshi Hojo-san?
はあ？
Huh?
速攻退屈なんで即帰りますよ。
It's getting boring already. I'm going home.
じゃあ今のはなしということで。
Okay, please forget that.
Ooishi must have known why I had to remove my fingernails. He wasn't trying to confirm that I liked Satoshi-kun. What he was really saying was that he knew already.
サトシ君の事件当日のアリバイなら先日熊谷刑事さんに全部お話ししたつもりです。
I already talked to Detective Kuma-chan. Kuma-chan, he's a bear. About Satoshi-kun's alibi that day.
もちろん私も熊谷君の調子は読んでます。
I always call him Kuma-chan.
Ah, whatever.
Of course, I read the Kumagai's-kun's report.
あなたがサトシ君と
I
一
know
緒にい
you
た
were
こと
with
は
him.
何度聞かれたって同じ話しかしませんよ私。
I'll just repeat the same statement no matter how many times you
し
ask.
つこく反復して聞いたらそのうちにボロを出すとか考えてるなら大
Don't
雨もいい
think
と
you
こで
can
す。
poke holes in it.
まさかそんなこと考えてません。
No, no, that's not what I want.
あなたは頭のいい人です。
You're a smart person.
そんな手に引っかかるなんて思っちゃいません。
I know that wouldn't work for you.
ならどういう手を考えてるやら。
I wonder what you're after.
どちらにせよ私からサトシ君のことを何か聞き出そうとしてもそれは無駄なことです。
You're wasting time if you want information on Satoshi-kun.
先日お話しした以上のことは何もありません。
There's nothing more to talk about.
ああ残念。やっぱり退屈な話でしたね。
Ah, this is boring me after all.
私帰らせてもらいます。
I'm going home.
そういう約束でしたからね。
Since that was our agreement.
失礼します。
Excuse me. I got up off the couch.
シオンさん、
Shion-san,
確かに私はあなたからサトシさんのアリバイを聞こうと思っていました。
I did want to get Satoshi-san's alibi from
それ
you.
は認めます。
I admit it.
なら決まりです。
That's it then.
やっぱり退屈でし
It's
た。
boring.
帰ります。
I'm going home. I turned around and started walking. Well, she didn't get anxious, but instead he spoke a little louder.
でもね、シオンさん。
But Shion-san,
私が聞きたいのはサトシさんの事件当日のアリバイじゃない。
I want to ask you about his alibi for
昨
yesterday,
日のアリバイなんです。
not the day of the murder.
昨日なんで昨日のアリバイなんかが聞
His
かれるんです
alibi
か
for yesterday? Why?
昨日のサトシ君のアリバイが
What does that
おば
have
さん
to
が
do
殺
with
さ
his
れた事
aunt's
件とどう
death?
関係があるってんです
Yeah, what does that have to do with his aunt's death?
昨日、サトシ君が出かけたまま失踪されたからです。
It's because Satoshi-kun has been missing since then.
What?
サトシ君が失踪されたことはご存知なかった？
Didn't you know that he went missing?
I couldn't say anything, but my expression answered Oishi's question anyway.
どういうことですか？
What's going on?
失踪って何？
Missing? What?
やっぱり座ったらどうです？
Why don't you take a seat?
サトシ君が失踪したって何？
What do you mean? Satoshi-kun has gone missing. 何? What the hell?
一つ確実に分かっていることは、彼が3時前に沖宮の郵便局で貯金を全額下ろしているということだけです。
We only know one thing for sure. He withdrew all of his savings at an ATM in the Okinomiya post office before 3 p.m.
その
yesterday.
後の足取りはつかめません。
We don't know his whereabouts after that.
I knew why he withdrew that money. He wanted to buy Satoko's birthday present. Yes, he definitely bought that teddy bear yesterday.
これは私の想像ですよ。
This is just my guess.
彼はひょっとしてそのお金でどっか遠くに蒸発したんじゃないかなって。
I think he skipped town with that money.
逃走資金だってんですか？
You mean he used the money to run away?
バッカバカしい。
That's stupid.
あのお金はね、サトコの誕生日プレゼントを買うためにサトシ君が貯めていたんです。
He was saving money to buy Satoko a birthday present.
それであのおもちゃ屋にあったでかくて高いぬいぐるみを買ったんです。
He bought a big expensive teddy bear from that toy
逃
store.
走に使うお金になんかなるわけないです。
He never used that money to skip town.
確かにあのおもちゃ屋から一番高いぬいぐるみが売れていました。
Yes, the most expensive teddy bear in that toy store was sold.
でもね、それをサトシ君が買った確証が取れないんです。
But we can't confirm that it was Satoshi-kun who bought it.
店の人に聞けばそんなのわかりますって。
Why don't you ask the clerk?
私とサトシ君で買う予約までしてるんですから。
Satoshi-kun and I reserved that teddy bear together. Oh, I had a bad feeling. That old man who was watching that store was sleeping when we were there. He looked very senile. Maybe he was also watching that store on that day, and even though Satoshi-kun bought the teddy bear, he didn't remember. Ooishi put on a wise smile. It looked like he already tried to question that old man.
とにかく、あれ
Anyway,
を買ったのはサトシ君なんです。
it's Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear.
サトシ君はぬいぐるみの金額ギリギリしかお金がなかったはずだから、
He must have saved just enough to buy
ぬい
it.
ぐるみ代を支払ってさらに逃亡資金を用意できたなんて思えません。
So he shouldn't have been able to run away after.
I know how to solve this. We go talk to Satoko and pray to God that she doesn't lie. Because if she lies again, I'm gonna throw something. She better have that fucking teddy bear. That's what I'm saying right now. She better fucking have that teddy bear. She better fucking have that bear. That's all we
め
need
ちゃ
to
めちゃ
do.
もいいとこです。
That's nonsense.
いいですよ。
Alright.
じゃあサトシ君がぬいぐるみを買ったことでもいいです。
Alright. Let's say he really did buy the teddy bear.
じゃあそのぬいぐるみを持ってどうして帰らなかったんです
Then
か？
why didn't he come home with it?
What do you mean he didn't come home with it? What do you mean he didn't come home with it? At that point, I felt as though my heart had turned to ice. Satoshi-kun had been working hard to buy that teddy bear, even though he was under extreme mental and physical stress. After all that, he finally managed to buy it. It's unthinkable that somebody else showed up and bought the same teddy bear. That teddy bear was gone because Satoshi-kun bought it! Nobody else! But even so, Satoshi-kun should have given it to Satoko. And if Satoko doesn't have it, who has...
I'm legit mad. I'm legit angry right now. I need a sip of water.
Calm down, Oyashiro-sawa, you're scaring the poo soy.
I am legit mad.
Satoshi-kun should have given it to Satoko. But, though he bought a present for her, he didn't come home. He didn't come home. Didn't come home. That wasn't possible. He would have gone straight home with that teddy bear. He wouldn't think of running away after buying the teddy bear. Even though Satoshi-kun wanted to run away from the police, he'd never leave without giving Satoko her present. Anyway, it must have been Satoshi-kun who had bought that teddy bear. I can say that with 100% certainty. The question was, why didn't he bring it home? That teddy bear was huge. It wouldn't fit into the basket of a bicycle. He might have bought some straps to tie it to his bike. But he wouldn't have thought of running away on a wobbly bicycle like that. He necessarily had to go home buying the teddy bear from the store after withdrawing the money. Nothing could have happened when he was going between the ATM and the toy store. It's impossible. Nobody else could have possibly, no one else could possibly have bought that teddy bear. Never. That teddy bear had been sitting in the showcase up until that day. Everybody else could see it when they passed by. But nobody wanted it. It's impossible that they could have been seen. It's possible that it could have been seen. It could have been somebody else. Yeah, I'm just so frustrated. What do you mean he didn't go home? There should be no question that he went to the toy store after he withdrew the money. What about the route between the toy store and his home? There shouldn't be any question there either. He shouldn't have been able to do anything with that huge toy. He shouldn't even have thought of making a stop on the way. So he must have headed home right after he bought the teddy bear. But nobody saw him after that. I think Satoko did, and I think Satoko's lying. There's no way. It was simple then. Satoshi-kun went missing on his way home from the toy store. He went missing? What did that mean? I was sure he killed his aunt. He's not that shrewd. Maybe he couldn't bear the pressure from the police. Was he resigned to the idea that the police were going to arrest him soon, regardless of my help? Did he decide to run away? Did he think that he should disappear until things cooled down, rather than get arrested? That was definitely, absolutely impossible. It was impossible that he came to that conclusion on his way home from the toy store. Even if he did, he wouldn't have waited until he gave Satoko her birthday present. Satoshi-kun loves Satoko. He shouldn't have spoiled her like that, but anyway, he always tried to be a good brother to her. So he'd never disappear before going home. I felt as though ice was cutting through my heart, expanding the frost. If Satoshi-kun didn't disappear by his own will, the answer was simple. Satoshi-kun disappeared by somebody else's will.
Satoshi-kunが消された。
Was Satoshi-kun eliminated?
バカバカしいです。やっぱり退屈な話ですよ、おじさま。
That's really stupid, old man. I thought I could shake off the frost in my heart if I laughed loudly enough. I kept laughing until it happened. I kept laughing and laughing. All the cops in the room stared at me. They thought I'd gone crazy. I didn't care what they thought. I kept laughing until it turned into a cough. Oh, no. I finished laughing and took a sip of lukewarm coffee. I felt as though the frost in my heart had spread all throughout my guts. I was chilled to the bone. I was freezing. My fingernails shook as I held the coffee cup.
シオンさん。
Shion-san,
ちょっと口を挟まずに聞いててほしいんです。
please listen to me without interrupting.
これから私がちょいと想像した話を申し上げます。
What I'm about to tell you is only a hypothesis.
全部でっち上げです。
It's all just a theory.
だからきっとシオンさんはあまりのいい加減な内容に吹き出しちゃいそうになるかもしれません。
You might start laughing in the middle because it may sound ridiculous.
それでも最後まで黙って聞いていてほしいんです。
I want you to hear me out.
約束してもらえます？
Can you do that?
いや、約束なんて何でもするから。
Whatever, just talk.
早く言いなさいよ。
I was feeling far too cold. My teeth were chattering. I felt as though my brain had frozen as well. I lost my ability to think. I couldn't do anything by myself. I could only do as Ooishi told me. What was he going to tell me? What he was going to tell me might be the worst possible theory, but I had to listen to it.
死んだおばがサトシ君とサトコさんをいじめていたことはよーく聞いています。
I know that Satoshi-kun and Satoko's aunt was abusing them.
中でもサトコさんを執拗にいじめていたこともね。
Especially Satoko-san.
その中でサトシ君が妹をかばうためにおばに殺意を募らせていったとしても。
In my opinion, it's normal that Satoshi-kun started thinking about murdering his aunt.
私は人として自然な流れだと思います。
Because he was just a human being.
I had to deny that Satoshi-kun murdered her. But what Ooishi was saying was true. I couldn't deny his hypothesis right away. I just kept silent.
ここからは空想ですよ。
This is only a hypothesis, alright?
絶対に怒らないで
Please
ください。
don't be upset.
口を挟むのもなし。
And no interruptions.
いいですね。
Agreed?
分かってるから
I know.
早く続けなさい
Just
よ
go on.
北条聡はおば殺しを計画し実行した。
Satoshi Hojo planned the murder of his aunt and executed it.
ねえ、もちろん証拠なんてありませんよ。
We have no proof, okay?
全部私の妄
It's all
想です。
theoretical.
分かってるって
All right.
あんたの妄想なのは
I
100も承知
heard.
だから早く続けて
Just keep talking.
ここで話は変わります。
I'll switch the subject
シオン
now.
さん、
Shion-san,
あなたはサトシ君との交際を禁じられたんですよね。
you were forbidden from having a relationship with Satoshi-kun, weren't you?
もう忘れろ。二度と関わるなと念をされたんですよね。
They told you to stay away from him, correct?
それは実は不仲な両家の関係を意味嫌ったからでなく、殺人犯と園崎家の令嬢が恋仲であることに問題があったんじゃないかと思ったんです。
I believe the reason behind that is not that your family hated the Hojos, but that they didn't like the fact that you were involved with a murder suspect.
That is actually possible. After all, when I was pretending to be Mion, I already had a connection with Satoshi-kun. Before anyone knew it was Shion who was spending time around him. I could have been accused when I was helping out the Hinamizawa fighters if the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis was the problem. It wouldn't be difficult for the Sonozaki family to know that Satoshi-kun murdered his aunt, if it happened in Hinamizawa. Maybe one of them even saw the murder. The Sonozaki family didn't like that I was in love with a murderer. They decided to step in.
あと、あなた諦めが悪いことでも知られてるんじゃないですか。
Also, you're known to not give up easily, aren't you?
つまり園崎本家にサトシ君との縁を切れと脅されて爪を剥がされても
Which means, even if the Sonozaki family threatened you or ripped off your nails,
サトシ君との縁を切りかねていましたよね。
you still wouldn't cut ties with Satoshi-kun, would you?
I couldn't deny that. I lost most of my means to access Hinamizawa, so my ties to Satoshi-kun were essentially cut. True. But I still knew Satoshi-kun's phone number, and I expected him to rejoin the Hinamizawa fighters eventually.
園崎本家はサトシ君とあなたの縁はちょっと脅しただけじゃ絶対に切れないと分かっていたと思います。
I believe your family knew that a few threats would never be enough for you to break ties with
あ
Satoshi-kun.
なたをいくら脅してもどうにもならない。
They could threaten you all they like to no avail.
じゃあ
So,
もう一人の方をどうにかするしかないですよね。
the only option would be to do something about the other person, wouldn't it?
どうにかって何
What do you mean, do something?
どうにかって何よ
What would they do?
何
What?
何
What? If threatening me was useless, then they'd do something about Satoshi-kun. What would they have done? If they pulled something, then wouldn't that interrupt his path from the toy store to home? Toy store to home. Toy store to X to home. What's X? What's X? X marks the spot where his path was interrupted. But what interrupted it? Why couldn't Satoshi-kun make it home from the toy store if something interrupted him? Why? What's X? X! I ran out of air, became dizzy, and then collapsed. The floor felt cold. I felt no pain. I'd fallen to the floor like a plastic doll. Ooishi and some others rushed over to me and helped me up.
落ち着いてシオンさん。
Calm down, Shion-san.
サトシ君が殺されたとはまだ限りません。
We're not certain that Satoshi-kun was killed yet.
You're not certain he was killed? Then what the fuck are you talking about? Don't you know about that torture room where they forced me to rip off my fingernails? Don't you know that they say there are prison cells and a well for disposing of corpses in the back? If the Sonozaki family wants to eliminate somebody, they definitely kill them in that torture room and dump the body down there. You're not certain. Are you dumb? Is your brain made of tofu? If I were in the hag's position, I'd kill him for sure. I wouldn't let him get away. If I could kill him, then the hag would definitely kill him.
シオンさん、落ち着いて。
Shion-san, please calm
これは
down.
まだ未確認情報ですが、名古屋駅で家出人風の若者を見たという情報が入っています。
This is unconfirmed, but I have information that somebody witnessed a young runaway male at the Nagoya
東
station
京行きの新幹線に乗ったそうです。
who took a train from there to Tokyo.
服装の特徴などが一致しませんでしたが、警察の追跡等を意識して衣替えをしている可能性もあります。
The clothes didn't match, but it's possible that he changed what he was wearing to hide from the
服
police.
装が違うからサトシ君でないとは言い
It's
切れま
still
せんよ。
possible that it was him.
生きてるの
Is he alive?
サトシ君
Is he...
生きてる
ここからもまた私の想像になりますがね。
This is also a theory, but let me go
あな
on.
たの双子のお姉さんのミヨンさん、
Your twin sister,
次
Mion-san,
期当主ということで、園崎お涼の身近にいますよね。
is the closest person to Oryu Sonozaki, correct?
園崎お涼は、おそらく最初はサトシ君をこっそり殺してしまおうと提案したと思います。
I'm assuming that Mion-san stopped Oryu
それをあなたのお姉さんが止めたんじゃないかと思うんです。
when she suggested murdering Satoshi-kun furtively.
Mion. That was possible. She could have tried to calm things down out of pity for me. That idiot was always so indecisive. She should have been clear on if she wanted to save him or not. But she probably seemed vague about it. About that. She must have persuaded the hag to reduce the punishment to banishment instead of death, just to avoid feeling guilty.
おそらく園崎本家はサトシ君と接触したでしょ
I believe that the Sonozaki family contacted
う。
Satoshi-kun.
今回の事件はかばいきれない。だから自分の身は自分で守るためにどこかへ姿を隠せと忠告したはずです。
They probably told him that if they couldn't cover up the murder, and told him to disappear somewhere far
い
away,
や、強要したと言った方が似合うでしょ
they
う、ね。
forced him to be more accurate.
サトシ君は絶対拒否すると思います
Satoshi-kun would have rejected
だっ
that.
てあのサトシ君が妹を一
He
人
would
残して
never leave
ひなみ
Satoko
沢を離れら
behind.
れるわけがない
私もそう思います。
I agree with you.
確かサトシ君は園崎美音さんの紹介でバイトをしてましたよね。
Satoshi-kun was working at the places Mion-san referred him to, wasn't he?
だからサトシ君に逃走資金になるまとまったお金があることを知っていたと思います。
So, the family knew he had enough money for a getaway.
でもサトシ君はそのお金をぬいぐるみを買う以外には絶対に使わないはずです
But he'd never use it for anything other than buying that teddy bear.
でしょうね。
You're right.
サトシ君は貯金を下ろしたら迷うことなくおもちゃ屋に向かうでしょ
He must have gone straight to the toy store after he withdrew the money.
う。でももしですよ、サトシ君がおもちゃ屋にたどり着くと
What if the teddy
もう
bear
ぬ
was
いぐる
already
みが売れ
sold
て
when
し
he
まっ
got
てい
there?
てなくなっていたら
But who would buy that?
What? That would have been a very desolate situation. He had been working hard. While his aunt abused him, he worked at many different jobs. The money was worth all that pain. He went to the toy store with that money in order to buy his beloved sister a present. That was the only purpose for that money. He must have looked for the teddy bear as he'd always done. But it was gone. He wouldn't have gone into a panic right away because he was always so optimistic. He might have thought the store was wrapping the gift for him because he told them that he'd pick it up that day. He must have gone into the store joyously. I couldn't guess exactly what happened next. My heart would tear up if I tried to imagine it anyway. Why they didn't have it, even though he had it reserved. No, he had it reserved? Didn't that old man understand the situation, or was he just zoning out? I thought that the Sonozaki family also owns this as well. So, yeah. They fucked with him again. Maybe it would have been the same if it wasn't that old man who was at the store at the time. It was a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family. Yeah, if a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family went in and showed them the money, nobody could have rejected it. Sonozaki-kun must have sunk into silence. No matter how hard he complained, the teddy bear was gone. He probably never even considered that his dream might be taken away. He must have been wobbling his way home in sorrow, leaning on the telephone poles every now and then. It was the day he wanted Satoko to be happy the most. He couldn't get the present she wanted the most. He probably didn't think of getting another gift, because it was unimaginable that he couldn't get that teddy bear. He must have imagined how Satoko would react if she found out that he had no present for her. He must have looked unbelievably sad and empty. The money he'd been saving meant nothing anymore. Satoshi-kun never cried, even at his toughest moments. Did he even know how to cry? It was always Satoko who was crying. So, Satoshi-kun never learned how to cry, and he grew up that way. Did you know that people shed sadness from their hearts with tears? Satoshi-kun wasn't even allowed to do that. Even though his heart was filled with sorrow, he couldn't let it out.
妹を一人残してひなみ沢を離れられないと言いましたね。
You insisted he wouldn't leave Satoko-san behind, didn't you?
でももしも、
But think,
園崎本家が残った聡子さんの面倒は見るって言ってあったとしたらどう思います？
what if the Sonozaki family told him that they'd look after her after his disappearance?
After Satoshi-kun found out the teddy bear was gone, all he had left was some crumpled bills. The family told him that it was just a matter of time before the police got him. They told him to run away. They said they'd take care of Satoko. Satoshi-kun didn't feel like seeing his sister. He wandered and found himself at Okinomiya Station. He must have been apologizing to Satoko so many times in his mind. He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagoya and then to Tokyo. But that meant he's alive. He's alive. I shouldn't be able to see him again. I should be able to see him again someday. He must be coming back, so I'll definitely see him again.
そうしてずっと遠方に隠れ家か受け入れ先を用意してくれたんじゃないかと思います。
They assumed that the Sonozaki family set up some place for him to stay.
サトシ君はそこ
Satoshi-kun
を
must
目
have
指し
gone
た。
there.
無事なんだ。
So, he's safe.
いつか帰ってくるんですよね。
He's coming back someday, right? Ooishi looked up at the ceiling and stretched. He didn't answer me. On June 24th, 1982, Satoshi Hojo went missing. There was a possibility that he ran away as the prime suspect of the murder that happened on the 20th of the same month. Allegedly, someone resembling him was seen at the Nagoya station embarking on a train heading to Tokyo, but the truth is unknown. No one has seen him since. As a matter of fact, no one even knows if he's still alive. Huh.
Ooh, we got notebook pages. Let's read them.
The information that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo hasn't been verified. It started as follows. A young man came to the lost and found window looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write down his name on the form. The young man started writing Hojo as his name, but he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form, and wrote a totally different name on another form. The station employee witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into the station heading toward Tokyo. The employee from the Lost and Found and the employee who was on the platform talked about talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That was all. The wallet of the man named Hojo was never reported as found to the Lost and Found office. At first, I thought Oishi's theory that the Sonozaki family banished Satoshi-kun from Hinamizawa and looked after Satoko in return was bogus. But thinking about it now, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. After all, Satoko Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Rika Furude isn't just a regular girl. She's the head of the Furude family, one of the three families. The head of the Kimiyoshi family is Rika Furude's guardian. The Sonozaki family probably couldn't step in due to having been officially opposed to the Hojo family. But Satoko Hojo is in the custody of the three families now. Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized during the dam conflict, Satoko Hojo was now under protection. It seems as though Satoko was exempted from blame. I don't believe that for one moment at all. Why was she spared, even though Satoshi-kun wasn't? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. What did you just say?
信頼できる筋の噂ですが、サトシ君の叔母殺しの犯人が見つかったらしいです。
This information is from a reliable source. It appears they found the murderer of Satoshi-kun's horn.
It had been a few weeks since the murder. Satoshi-kun still hadn't been found. I had no new information about his whereabouts. Kasai's report came, as a result, completely out of the blue.
それって警察が逮捕したって意味？
Does that mean the police arrested the culprit?
聞いた話では、逮捕というより、別件で取り調べを受けていた男が余罪として自供したんだとか。
It seems that he confessed during his interrogation regarding another case.
That sounded strange. If it was Satoshi-kun they arrested, he wouldn't have worded it that way. It sounded as though Satoshi-kun wasn't the culprit. Kasai.
結局、犯人って誰だったの？
The culprit. So it wasn't Satoshi-kun. I swallowed those final words. I was convinced that it was Satoshi-kun. The police and Ooishi must have thought the same way. The reason Ooishi approached me is because he was convinced that Satoshi-kun did it.
ご安心を。
Don't worry.
サトシ君ではないよう
It
で
doesn't
すよ。
seem like it was Satoshi-kun.
連続開始事件を模倣した異常者の犯行というような話みたいです。
I heard it was a lunatic who was aiming to continue the series of mysterious deaths.
はい？
What? A lunatic?
何それ？
What do you mean? Kasei shrugged.
さあ、私もそれ以上は。
I don't know.
何しろ今回の事件は、秘匿捜査指定というものがかかっているんだそうです。
Since the investigation is classified as a confidential case,
なので、ほとんど情報が出回らないんです。
the information I can get is limited.
秘匿捜査？
Confidential?
何それ？
何それ? Why?
連続開始事件による村への風評被害対策ということらしいです。
To prevent the village from developing a bad reputation.
誘拐事件なんかでも犯人との交渉が行われている間は新聞に載らなかったりするでしょ。
You don't see articles about kidnapping while the police are negotiating with the culprit, do you?
ああいう類のものらしいです。
It's something similar to that.
Come to think of it, I hadn't seen anything about the aunt's murder on TV or in the newspaper.
何しろ4年連続で綿流しの日に事件が起こっているわけですからね。
These strange deaths have happened 4 years in a row on the day of the Watanagashi.
お社様のたたりだと騒いで面白がる輩も多いそうですし。
There are those who try to make light of it.
そうそう。
And
何
now,
でもそのおば殺しの異常者ですが、連続開始事件を模倣したくて行ったと自供したんだとか。
and now this lunatic who confessed to the aunt's murder said he did it in imitation of the series of mysterious deaths.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit alarm, bullshit alarm. Kasai didn't know anything else, so instead of probing him further, I reviewed the information myself. I was really shocked to learn all of this. I was convinced that Satoshi-kun killed her. I thought that was the reason he had to disappear. But it was actually some lunatic who killed her, and he had no relation to the aunt whatsoever. So, Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with the murder? If so, why did he disappear? I couldn't accept that this lunatic had killed the aunt. And what's really strange is the phrase Kasai used. 4 years in a row. After all, I've been thinking that this murder happened because Satoshi-kun had been in a dire situation. It had nothing to do with the series of mysterious deaths. I felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinuizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Satoshi-kun's case had become one of those mysterious deaths. In other words, Satoshi-kun's case has become a part of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't like the way that sounded, because it was as though the curse had swallowed Satoshi-kun.
Unfortunately,
例の東京行きの新幹線に乗ったらしいという情報も確認が取れないままです。
we haven't been able to confirm the tip that Satoshi-kun took a train to Tokyo.
正直なところ、県の中にいるのか外にいるのか、それすらも分かっちゃいません。
We don't even know whether or not he's in this prefecture, to be honest.
Ooishi broke the seal on a new can of instant coffee.
あれだけ胸を張ってサトシ君が犯人だと息巻いていたから、もう行方をつかんでるとばかり思ってました。
I thought you knew his whereabouts already, since you seemed very convinced that he was the culprit.
いやいや、
You
情
got
けない
me.
限りです。
Ooishi chuckled and poured a cup of coffee, which looked far too hot.
しかし、耳が早いな。
You got some good sources.
はい？
Huh?
秘匿捜査指定だってのに、どこの誰が漏らしてるやら。
It's a highly classified case, but you already have this information.
やれやれ。
I wonder who leaked it.
うちの傍聴も問題があるな。
Looks like we need to review our security precautions.
Ooishi smirked. Seemed he already knew why I was here today.
まあ、腐っても園崎の端くれですので。
I'm one of the Sonozakis, after all.
多少の噂は耳にできますということで。
And my ears are open. I smirked back at him. It's all about bluffing.
まあいいか。
Anyway,
腹を割り合った中ですしね。
since we're friends
いい
now,
ですよ。
why don't
お
we
し
have
ゃ
a
べりしま
chat?
しょう。
まず聞かせてください。
Let me ask you first.
真犯人って
Who's this
一体何者で
real
す？
culprit?
異常者とか聞きましたけど、それってどういうことですか？
Heard he's a lunatic. But what does that mean?
どういうことって言われたってね。
I don't know how to answer that question.
そりゃ私だって言いたいですよ。
I want to know the answer myself.
私はサトシ君が犯人の一点読みでしたからね。
Really? I was convinced Satoshi-kun was the real culprit.
とんだ万馬券が飛び出したもんです。
It was rather surprising for me, too.
Oishi threw himself on the sofa and crossed his hands behind his head. He looked up at the ceiling and smiled wryly.
先日ですね、県警の方から急に連絡が来たんですよ。
I suddenly received a call from the prefectural police the other day.
すでに逮捕して取り調べをしている男が主婦殺しを自供したって。
They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of a housewife.
それは何者？
Who is it?
薬に手を出したとんでもない野郎でしてね。
He's a real piece of work who fell into a drug habit.
出所しては捕まるの繰り返しだそうです。
He's been in and out of prison for drug abuse.
南沢村連続開始事件が面白そうだったんで、4年目のたたりは自分が下してみたくなった。とかなんとか。
His statement says that he was interested in the series of mysterious deaths and wanted to imitate
間
them.
違いなくそいつが犯人？
Are you sure he's the real culprit?
私が直接話を聞いたわけじゃないんですがね。
I didn't interrogate him myself.
先方が取った供述調書には、いわゆる犯人しか知り得ない情報ってやつががっつりと含まれていたんですよ。
I didn't interrogate him myself, but the prefectural police tells me that he has information that only the real culprit would know.
凶器を王子川のどこかで捨てたって言ってましてね。
He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into the Oiji? Is it Oiji? Oiji River.
今はドブさらいの最中ですよ。
They're searching for it now.
これで供述通りに凶器が発見されれば完璧でしょう
If it's
な。
found, his statement will be solid.
たとえ凶器が見つからなくても、おおむね確定。
Even if the weapon wasn't found, would the case be closed?
確定でしょうな。
Probably.
現場の状況と仏の状況を正確に供述しています。
His statement clearly outlines the state of the crime scene and the body.
襲った本人にしかわからないような細かいあたりまでね。
This information, like I said, covers details that only the actual murderer would know.
納得は言ってないみたいですね。
You don't seem quite convinced. Ooishi, still looking up at the ceiling, went quiet.
実はね、その大バカだれ、
Oh, as a matter of fact,
とっくに亡くなってるんですよ。
the moron was already dead
うちに連絡があった時
by
に
the
はす
time
で
I
に
got their call.
亡くなってる？
Dead.
給食とかに出てくるでしょ。先割れスプーン。
You know those spoons that are forked at the tip?
留置場の食事にもあれが出てくるんですよ。
They use those at the detention facility.
そいつを飲み込んで窒息したんだとか。
I was told that he swallowed one and choked on it.
自殺なのか錯乱なのかちょっと区別がつかないですがね。
They couldn't tell if it was a suicide or if it was caused by some mental disorder.
I imagine somebody swallowing that spoon and gagged.
だから十分に納得するまで調べられたわけじゃありません。
So the investigation hadn't been done that thoroughly.
私は納得できないんですがね。
But
上の方は十分に納得しちゃったようでした。
although I'm not convinced, my superiors are.
どうもその愉快犯が主婦殺しの犯人ってことで決着しそうな流れです。
I think with that, the case will be closed.
Oishi turned his eyes from the ceiling to me. He looked serious.
これは個人的な意見ですよ。
This is just what I personally feel, okay?
他の誰にも内緒というこ
So
とで。
please keep it between the two of us.
私はこの大バカたりは何かの間違いだと思ってます。
I believe that this moron is some kind of mistake.
何かの偶然による 壮大な勘違いか、もしくは
It might be either a big misunderstanding caused by a chain of coincidences, or, you know.
全然意味わかんないですよ、大石のおじさま。
I have no idea what you're talking about.
私は今でも犯人は北条聡君だと思っています。
I still believe that the real culprit is Satoshi Hojo-kun.
きっぱり言い切りますね。
You sound confident.
残念ながら現場検証では犯人を特定できるような痕跡は何一つ発見できませんでした。
Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything to prove he was at the crime scene.
サトシ君が失踪した後、家宅捜索の許可が下りましてね。
We obtained a warrant to search his house after he
家
disappeared,
を改めさせてももらいました
but
が、
we still found
それでも
nothing.
それでもサトシ君が犯人だと疑ってる。
But you still believe he did it. He still believes that.
ねえ。
Yes.
証拠もないのにどうやったらそこまで人を殺人犯呼ばわりできるのやら。
I wonder how you can be so sure even though you don't have any evidence.
大したもんです。
It's incredible.
長年の勘ってやつですか？
Is that supposed to be like the hunch of an experienced detective?
ええ。
Yep.
この道で何十年も飯を食ってきた男の直感です。
It's the hunch of a guy who's been in this business for several decades.
Ooishi smiled in satisfaction, but I didn't feel relieved.
サトシ君はどこへ？
Where did Satoshi-kun go?
サトシ君が失踪した理由の一つこそが彼が犯人であるからだと固く信じていたんです。
His disappearance convinced me that he was the culprit.
サトシ君が犯人でないならそのあたりがかなり薄れちゃいますからね。
If he wasn't the culprit, there'd be no real reason for him to disappear.
おば殺しの犯人はその愉快犯で、サトシ君の失踪とは無関係。
What if the murder was actually done by that copycat, and Satoshi-kun's disappearance has nothing to do with it?
サトシ君失踪は私とサトシ君の仲を裂くために園崎本家がやったもの。
In other words, what if Satoshi-kun disappeared because the Sonozaki family didn't like my relationship with him?
おば殺しとは無関係という考え方は？
And he has nothing to do with the murder. So, was Satoshi-kun a culprit? Or a victim? The reason for his disappearance had become unclear.
私は旧敵との恋仲程度で人一人を失踪させるなんてリスクを冒すとは思わないんですがね。
I don't think they'd bother to make one person disappear just because of an undesirable relationship.
They made me take off my fingernails.
どうなんです？
What do you hear from inside the Sonozaki family?
シオンさんはそのあたり
Do you know anything?
知っていたらこんなとこに来ません。
I wouldn't be here if I did.
ごもっともごもっとも。
You're right.
Ooishi laughed out loud while scratching his head. And after he stopped laughing, he leaned over.
よーし。なら一つどうですかね。
All right. How about this?
協定を結びませんか。
Why don't we make a deal?
紳士協定。
A gentleman's deal.
協定？
A deal?
何のです？
On what?
サトシ君失踪事件捜査情報共有協定。
On information about Satoshi-kun's disappearance.
裏の界隈でサトシ君の失踪に関する情報を得られたら私にも教えてください。
If you find any information like that, you tell me.
もちろん私もサトシ君についての情報が入ったらあなたに提供します。
Then I'll provide you with information if I find
い
it.
かがです？
Do we have a deal?
なんだか一方的な虫のいい話に思えますけど。
That sounds too convenient for you.
シオンさん。
シオンさん。
このまま行くと主婦殺しの犯人はすでに死んでるその大バカタレってことで確定すると思います。
I think if we leave things as they are, they'll conclude that the moron committed the murder.
He's hurting her snitch. into his niche. It's over. No, she needs to be. Fuck that family.
そうなると、サトシ君の扱いは単なる家出人になります。
If anything happens, Satoshi-kun's disappearance will be treated as just another runaway minor.
つまり、積極的な捜査は打ち切られるということです。
They won't search for him as actively as before.
ですが私だけは続けます。
But I will continue searching for him.
私だけはサトシ君の行方を引き続き探します。シオンさんも私もサトシ君の行方を探しているという点では一致してると思うんですがね。
I believe you're intending to do the same.
目的が全然違いますがね。
Our motives are different, though.
私は単に無事を確認したいだけですが、大石のおじさまにとっては逮捕が目的でしょうから。
I just want to know if he's safe, but you'd like to arrest him, wouldn't you?
主婦殺しが決着すれば、サトシ君は無実ってことになりますよ。
If the murder case was considered solved, Satoshi-kun would be free.
真実はどうかは別にして、ね。
Regardless of his innocence.
怪しいもんです。
I doubt that. Ooishi chuckled again, but his smile didn't reach his eyes.
まあ、今後も仲良くやりましょ
う。Well, let's be friends from now on.
敵の敵は味方とも言いますしね。
The enemy of your enemy is your friend, no?
別に私、園崎本家と敵対しているわけじゃありませんよ。
I'm not opposed to the Sonozaki family, though.
なあ、本当に？
Oh, really?
ならそりゃ失礼。
I apologize then.
This is the way of Kurado Ooishi, huh? As Sis and Kasai said, I wouldn't want him as my enemy or my ally, because both would be too risky. I probably shouldn't let my guard down in front of this big fat weasel. I sipped on coffee to fill up the silence, though I wasn't thirsty. Outside the window I could see normal life taking its course. But Satoshi-kun wasn't there. He should have been there, but he wasn't. I was scared that I might grow used to his absence someday. Where was he?
サトシ君はどうしてるんだろう。
I wonder how Satoshi-kun is doing.
無事だといいんですがね。
I hope he's alright.
生きてる可能性は薄いとか思っているくせに。
I know you think he might be dead.
気休め言わないでほしいです。
Don't patronize me.
サトシ君の失踪、ひなみ沢じゃ何て言われてるか知ってます？
Don't patronize me.
Do you know what people are calling his disappearance in Hinamizawa?
Huh?
鬼隠しにあったなんて言われてるんだとか。
They say that he was demoned away.
To be demoned away means the same thing as being spirited away. It's part of the local dialect.
鬼が淵沼の底の鬼の国にさらわれたって？
He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the Onigafuchi swamp?
バカバカしい。
Baka bakashi. That's ridiculous.
とにもかくにも連続開始事件もこれで4年目です。
Anyway, the series of mysterious deaths has struck for the fourth time.
気の早い話ですがね、来年もまた起こるんじゃないかなんて、も
It's
う
too
ささやか
soon,
れてる
but
んだとか。
people are already talking about next year.
大場殺しがお社様のたたりのせいだって言うんですか？
Are you saying that the murder was the result of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
全体的に見てみれば仏も北条家の一人。
The victim was one of the Hojos after all.
ダム戦争の戦犯と縁がないわけじゃないですからね。
She was involved in the dam conflict, though indirectly.
しかもまたしても綿流しの日にとなれば面白がる連中が現れるのも無理もないことです。
Really, it's not surprising that some people take an interest into the incidents because they do always happen on the day of the Watanagashi.
バカバカしい。何がお社様のたた
That's
りだ。
ridiculous too. Oyashiro-sama's curse? Though I said that, I couldn't quite wipe away the fear from my mind. Why did Satoshi-kun disappear? Was it the Sonozaki family? Did he run away from the police? Did he really kill his aunt in the first place? Why did he even disappear? He's on his own. Oyashiro-sama's curse has nothing to do with it. But, that's strange. Satoshi-kun and Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Ohayo gozaimasu Sawa-sama. It's morning baka. I'm only like 6 videos through this playlist, but I'll catch up. Have fun.
Good luck, B. Thank you for the tip. Good luck.
Somebody once mentioned those two together before.
Oh, I should say that the playlist is updated on I fixed everything, so the playlist is truly updated. And if you want to watch this from the beginning, you can.
I wouldn't suggest it though. You gotta start from the second video because I fucked up the first video, but that's okay.
That's okay. I accidentally forgot to put the baseball episode in the playlist. So yeah. Anyway.
Somebody once mentioned those two before, and it was Reina. When did I hear that? Ah, that's right. That rainy day. It was Reina Ryugu who told me that when we were taking shelter in that shack. I remember the creepy story that she told me at the time.
Satoshi-kun wa kokoro no doko de.
Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away.
Hinamizawa wo sutete, doko he nigedashitai to omotteru kara.
Even if only unconsciously.
That's what Reina Ryugu said. Reina had definitely pointed out that Satoshi-kun wanted to leave Hinamizawa at that time. She also said,
Satoshi-kun ga taiken shite iru koto wa subete Oyashiro-sama no tatari no maebure nano.
Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
She said that, for sure. She had definitely mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse. The series of mysterious deaths has struck 4 times. Was Satoshi-kun being controlled by the curse? Is that why he killed his aunt and was demoned away? No way. That can't be true. Satoshi-kun's smile faded away in my mind. Satoshi-kun disappeared. Not only that, the reason for his disappearance also disappeared. It must have been done by human beings. I can't accept the fact that he was demoned away. He was demoned away. I'm going to say it now. I believe he was demoned away.
Me, Sawa the Grape, believe he was demoned away, unfortunately.
I moved from one chair to another because the air conditioning was too cold. I moved with a notebook, my pen case with a bunch of keychains, and my cup of milk tea. I did it all in one go. I sat down in a new chair, then opened my notebook again. I scribbled my thoughts and sank into silence. The series of mysterious deaths, dubbed the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I've been viewing each incident as a separate case, even though it was followed by another one. I've never looked at all the cases as part of being one big scheme. After I wrote down all the incidents on paper, it became clear to me that all of them served the same agenda. I wrote down the victims. The first year, the construction site manager. The second year, Satoshi-kun's parents. The third year, the priest. The fourth year, Satoshi-kun's aunt. For the fourth year, one could consider Satoshi-kun himself to be the victim rather than his aunt. If I considered that each case arose from the grudge over the dam conflict, it's quite simple. In the first year, The construction manager was killed because he was a symbol of the dam construction itself. Of course, the real enemy was the Ministry of Construction, but it wasn't as clear a target. The manager, on the other hand, had been aggressively shouting back at the villagers, so he was a more appropriate enemy to attack. If Oyashiro-sama had really cursed someone, it would have been the officials from the ministry. It's apparent that the target was selected based on the villagers' preference. The second year, the accidental death of Satoshi-kun's parents. It said that they fell from a cliff in some park, but it's doubtful that it was really an accident. His parents were labeled as traitors to the village because they sided with the dam construction, even though they were also from Hinamizawa. The Hojo family was ostracized during the dam conflict in order to prevent further pro-dam activists from rising up. That means that the Hojos were necessary during the conflict to play the role of the traitor. So, when the conflict was over, they no longer served any purpose. The construction site manager was a symbol of the external enemy. The Hojos were a symbol of the internal enemy. Those people fell victim to the curse, and it seemed that the grudge over the dam conflict had ended. Yet, those incidents were followed by another one. The third year, the leader of one of the three families, the priest Furude, suddenly died of an illness with an unknown cause. His wife drowned herself on the same night. She seemed to have left a note that said she was sacrificing herself to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. Whether it was a fatal disease or suicide, their deaths looked suspicious. Mion admitted that the Sonozaki family didn't like the priest's attitude. They didn't like how the priest had been generous toward the pro-dam activists. The priest wasn't quite a traitor, but he was certainly uncooperative. Looking at these incidents, I realized that the curse was performed based on the degree of hostility. Enemy, traitor, and dissident. This meant that the curse was actually payment. It was a punishment for the criminals of war. And the fourth year, I didn't understand this case at first, to be honest. At first, I believed that this case was separate from the other ones, even though it occurred on the same day. I never thought that there would be any relation to the other three. But when I wrote it down and looked at it objectively, the victim is a relative of a traitor. After enemy, traitor, and dissident, relative of a traitor doesn't sound too odd. It comes naturally as a fourth target. On the day the villagers worshipped Oyashiro-sama, their guardian deity, the criminals of the dam conflict have been punished by the cursed. Just like how I was forced to pay at the Sonozaki house, the criminals were made to pay as well. After writing these things out, I started thinking that the fourth incident might be in line with the series of mysterious deaths as well, after all. Whether it was Satoshi-kun or the dope head, it seemed that they were forced to play the role of a murderer as part of a bigger scenario. Even if Satoshi-kun was the real culprit, even if he killed his aunt because of an ordinary grudge, the murder seems synchronized with the grand scheme of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, which is a payment plan for the war criminals. That murder was a result of his plan. But what if somebody planned that as part of the scenario? For instance, somebody might have suggested to him to kill his aunt on that day, that night, at that place. I had no doubts that Satoshi-kun decided to kill her in order to protect Satoko. But did he really reach that conclusion on his own? Satoshi-kun was optimistic and somewhat detached, as far as I know. Would he really have considered murdering his aunt, even if it was to protect his sister? Couldn't it be possible for somebody to have chosen the aunt as the fourth year's murder beforehand? And they used Satoshi-kun? And Satoshi-kun was eliminated because of his connection with them? Huh. Looking at it that way, the murder of the first year resembles this case. The main culprit behind the case hasn't been found yet, dead or alive. The other culprits testified that their fight had turned into a slaughter. Wouldn't it be possible that the main culprit had manipulated the situation? What if he had been told to kill someone on that day, at that time, and in that place? I'm certain. The first murderer resembles Satoshi-kun's case very much. So, did that mean Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else? Ooishi had presented me with a hypothesis that the Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear in order to end my relationship with the murderer. But when I read the notes I wrote down, his disappearance didn't seem too spontaneous. It seemed like part of a bigger plan. Since I'd unexpectedly gotten involved in that plan, I had to be separated from him. Then Satoshi-kun was demoned away, as planned. At first, I also believed that the Sonozaki family made him disappear because they didn't like the fact I was in love with a member of a family of traitors. But something didn't add up. Something felt strange. I wasn't the reason for his disappearance after all. Even if I never met him in the first place, Satoshi-kun was supposed to kill his aunt in June 1982 and then disappear. At one point, I had been thinking of taking revenge on that hag. I'd believed that she'd separated us. But what if my relationship with Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with his disappearance? What would that mean? Who made Satoshi-kun disappear? I need to understand the series of mysterious...
That scared me. Thank you.
I need to understand the series of mysterious deaths in order to solve this mystery. What did all of these deaths mean? Who was behind them, and what purpose did they serve? I wanted to know the purpose, the motive, and who was responsible. Who took Satoshi-kun? I wanted to know if he was still alive. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. What is that curse? Specifically, what kind of god is Oyashiro-sama? What blessings does he bring and what punishments does he dole out? I wrote down my thoughts in my notebook. What's Oyashiro-sama? What is he? I scribbled these things down. I was so absorbed by it that I didn't realize somebody had been standing behind me, watching me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from gasping when I realized that. Ah!
This little occultist.
I'm sorry.
How did I voice her before? I can't remember.
驚かせちゃったかしら?
I'm sorry. Did I startle you? The intelligent-looking woman giggled.
いえ、
No,
びっくりしただけです。
I was just a bit
こ
surprised.
ちらこそ場違い
Sorry
の
about
大声を
that.
出してすみませんでした。
I could have apologized a little better, too, since she'd been watching me from behind. But she just stared at my face instead.
あなたが園崎しおんさん?
Are you Shinozaki-san?
私の名前を知ってて、私が初対面ということは、お姉の知り合いか何かですか?
You must know my sis since you don't know my name, but I don't know who you are. Being twins is a pain sometimes. People you've never met before can tell exactly who you are.
ごめんなさいね。
I'm sorry.
私の知っている園崎さんは図書館なんかに来るような人じゃないから。
The Sonozaki-san I know would never be seen in a library.
噂に聞いた双子のシオンさんかなと思って。
So, I assumed that you were her twin sister. The woman giggled again.
お察しの通り、私は園崎シオンです。
Well, you were right. I'm Shion Sonozaki.
どうもはじめまして。
Nice
こん
to
にち
meet
は。
you.
失礼ですがどちら様ですか？
May I ask your name?
あら、ごめんなさいね。自己紹介がまだだったわね。
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first. She seemed to love her own hair because she kept running her fingers through it boastfully.
高野美代。
I'm Mio Takano.
美代って呼んでくれていいわよ。
You
シオ
can
ンちゃん。
call me Mio Shion-chan.
お気遣いありがとうございます。
Nice
高
to
野さん。
meet you, Takano-san. Her condescending attitude bugged me. I hate meeting people like that. I closed my notebook and got ready to leave the desk.
あら、怒ってる？
Oh, are you upset?
ご検察、痛み入ります。
Thank you for your concern.
私は一人で考え事をするのが好きなんで、よそへ行かせていただきます。
I like to be alone when thinking, so I'm moving to another spot.
失礼します。ご
Excuse
きげ
me.
んよう。
残念ね。
That's a shame.
私たち話が合うと思ったのに。
I thought we'd be good friends.
そうですか？
Did you?
私は会うとは思いかねますが。
I don't think so.
だってお社様のたたりについて研究する同志に出会えたんですもの。
I finally met someone with the same passion, a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
貴重な出会いだと思うんだけど。
I think it's quite unusual to meet someone like that. She saw my notes. My face reddened.
これは私の
These
そう、妄想みたいなも
are
の。
just theories. Yes,
でたらめです。
it's all nonsense.
子供の落書きなんかほっといてくだ
Just
さい。
childish scribbles.
お社様のたたりと呼ばれる一連の連続開始事件。
The series of mysterious deaths is also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse.
いずれの事件も個別に見えながら確実に一つの意思に基づいて行われている。
Though each death is an independent incident, all of them clearly share the same purpose.
毎年
Huh.
一人がお社様のたたりにあって死に、一人が生贄に捧げられて失踪する。
My bike. Each year, someone dies of the curse, and someone else is sacrificed and disappears.
は
What?
何を急に言い出すんですか？
What are you saying all of a sudden?
一人がたたりで死んで、一人が
Someone
何
dies
ですって？
and someone else. What? I was taken aback by her weird spiel, but I realized right away that she said something extraordinary.
南沢村連続開始事件の犠牲者が常に偶数人数だってことはあなたも気づいてたんじゃない？
Didn't you notice that the number of victims is always even?
それともまだそこまでには至ってなかったかしら？
Haven't you realized that yet? The number of victims is always even. I was confused, but I tried to figure out what that meant. The dam construction site manager died in the first year. There was only one victim. The second year, the victims were the parents of Satoshi-kun, so it was 2 people. In the third year, it was the priest. And if her death was also planned, his wife, 2 again. And in the fourth year, and this year, the fourth year, Satoshi-kun's aunt died. Satoshi-kun went missing. If Satoshi-kun's disappearance was planned, the number of victims was 2. It's true.
The number of victims is always even. How odd.
Hi, bye. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You sent me a $2? $2?
How odd of you. What does this all mean? Wait. I had just concluded myself that the first case resembled the fourth one. The main culprit was still missing. He might have been demoned away, just like Satoshi-kun.
ね
See?
そうでしょ
Doesn't it make sense now? Takano-san sounded like a teacher who had showed me how to solve a difficult math problem. I wasn't quite convinced, but I couldn't deny what she said either.
ヒントはこのくらいでいいかしら
Did I give you enough hints?
二人で存分に語り明かしたかったんだけど、あなたが孤独を好むなら仕方がないしね。
I really would have enjoyed a conversation with you, but I think you prefer being alone.
失礼な口の聞き方をしてすみませんでした、ミオさん。
I'm sorry that I wasn't respectful, Mion-san.
私のことはシオンと呼んでください。
Please call me Shion. She seemed content that I changed my attitude. She kept giggling for a while. She didn't seem that reliable. I didn't want to be acquainted with her for too long. But I don't get to talk to people very much. And what she said interested me.
改めて自己紹介するわね。
Let me introduce myself again.
高野美代よ。
I'm Mio Takano.
美代って呼んでくれると
Call me
嬉しいわ。
Mio.
よろしくです、ミオさん。
Pleased to meet you, Mio-san.
私は園崎シオン。
I am Shion Sonozaki.
ミオンの双子の妹にあた
Mion's
りま
twin
す。
sister.
シオンと呼んでください。
Please call me Shion. I took the hand that Mio-san held out as a sign of reconciliation.
さっきの話を聞かせてください。
Please tell me more.
二人犠牲者が出ると言いましたね。
You said that there are always two victims?
一人がたたりで、もう一人が
Oh, good
生
night,
贄
Gail.
とか言いましたか？
Wait a moment, what time is it? Shit! It's past midnight! No! 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 No!
5 more minutes, Bob!
Shit!
Please tell me more. You said that there are always two victims? One dies due to the curse and the other is a sacrifice?
ねえ、しおんちゃん。
Shion-chan.
このお話で盛り上がる前に、
Before we get
ど
to
うしてこの
that,
話に興味があるか聞かせてもらってもいいかしら。
could you tell me why you became interested in this? She leaned over and looked into my eyes. It was kind of uncomfortable.
ミオさんこそ、私のことをどこまでご存知です？
Mion-san, how much do you know about me?
ご存知なら、おおよその見当はつくんじゃないかと。
I guess you have an idea if you know my name.
さあ、
I don't know much.
何年か遠くの全寮制の学校にいて、最近沖宮に戻ってきたとしか知らないわよ。
Just that you recently returned from boarding school.
そうですか。
I see.
じゃあ想像つきますよね。
So I think you can
私が
imagine
いない間に起こった連続開始事件。
that I want to know about the series of mysterious deaths
私はよくわからないので調べてるんです。
that happened while I was away.
ちょっとした興味本位で。
I'm just curious.
なるほどね。
I see.
興味本位でね。
You're curious, huh? I got the impression that she knew about what happened to Satoshi-kun and me, because she instantly recognized me as Shion, not Mion. I didn't know why I thought that way, as she shouldn't have access to the sources that, for instance, Ooishi does. It was just the look in her eyes that made me think that way.
ミオさんにも聞きます。
Let me ask you a question this
さ
time.
っき私のことをお社様のたたりについて調べる同志と言いましたね。
You called me a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse, didn't you?
なぜたたりなんか研究してるんですか？
So why are you researching the curse?
そして連続開始事件の犠牲者は偶数人であることも言い切りましたね。
You also stated that there's always an even number of victims in the mysterious death.
ひなみ沢連続開始事件は確かに通称でお社様のたたりと呼ばれています。
It's true that Hinamizawa's mysterious deaths are often called Oyashiro-sama's curse.
なぜたたりを研究すると連続開始事件にまで踏み込むことになるのですか？
But why would you delve into the mysterious deaths if you're researching the curse itself?
シオンちゃん、質問が一度に多すぎるわね。
Shion-chan, you're asking too many questions at once.
それに何が聞きたいのか、ややこしくて分かりにくいわ。
I can't tell you what you really want to know. Oh, I couldn't say anything in return. Maybe I'd been too inquisitive.
順に答えるわね。
I'll answer your questions, one by one.
私が研究しているのはたたりじゃなく、もっと講義。
I'm not just researching the curse, as my subject is much broader than that.
鬼ヶ淵村の風俗史よ。
I'm researching the history of Onigafuchi Village.
平たく言えば、古代ひなみ沢村の知られざる歴史、暗黒史について研究しているの。
In plain terms, I'm researching the dark and ancient history of Hinamizawa.
鬼ヶ淵村？
Onigafuchi Village?
鬼ヶ淵って鬼の国につながってるっていう村の奥にある底なし沼のことですか？
Isn't Onigafuchi the bottomless swamp some people believe is connected to hell?
あと知られざる歴史、
And
暗黒史って何
what
です？
dark history? I kept asking questions. Mion-san, however, looked pleased to hear them.
鬼ヶ淵村というのは、ひなみ沢村の明治以前の名前よ。
Onigafuchi Village is the old name for Hinamizawa, as it was known back before the Meiji era? Meiji
暗
era.
黒史というのは、
Meiji era.
うすうすは知っている
About
でしょ
the
う。
dark history.
Well, we're gonna have to wait for that because I'm tired. I will learn about the dark history later. Let's save. Save. I don't want to save because I won't see his face again. We're gonna save here. Yes. Leave him here. Safe. Ah! Yeah, I'm getting spirited away to bed. Okay. Menu. I saved, right? I'm that tired. Yeah, exit the menu. Oh my god! I want to thank you guys for being here, hanging out, and donating, and let me know what you think's gonna happen. Because this is a mess. This is a mess, and I'm very sad. What chapter has us play as Oyashiro? Is there a chapter? I don't know. I don't want to be Oyashiro-sama. They seem like they work too hard.
They got a lot of plans.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed if I can find this. Where do you guys want to go? Where do you guys want to go? Where do you want to go? Let's see who's live right now. My senpai is alive. Is she alive? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check appropriately. Yeah, they're alive now. They're alive now. Okay, you can run over there. You be good, okay? You be good. Or else. Wait, what's it? There. Bye bye. Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. What's this nerds? Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll get back to chaos.